The ODL League games. We are casting the bronze stream tonight, and we've got Illumination Valiant here on the red side facing off against Classic Esports Arrow. I will be your host, Coach Kaiser, and with me tonight I've got Mr. Richard. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great. It's great to be here, Coach Kaiser. Excited to see some defined bronze to silver gameplay today.
Yeah, man, it should be good. These two teams are the top dogs in the Bronze Silver League currently, so this will be a good clash. And right now we're going straight to the game, and they're doing a pretty even spread. No one doing anything too risky right now. This is a best of three, so it'll be interesting to see how it develops throughout the game. But since we didn't really do the champ select, what are you thinking about these team comps right now? Is there one you're favoring?
I mean, gotta immediately picks up my eyes. Got to be that Zai Rakan bot lane. You know, what a force to be reckoned with together. Even alone, Rakan or Zai can pretty much be great. Great. Great champions alone, but just when together, that synergy not only from Rakan's elongated range with his dash, but also just Zio and the Rakan, the level 2, all in the amount of damage that just provides really great combos. So something to look out for on the bot lane. I mean, immediately coming out.
Yeah, definitely. And I am really interested in seeing this freaking Buster top lane going at it. Malphite, Ornn, both great champions when it comes to being a team utility tank. So it'll be interesting to see which one comes out ahead. And where do you think the jungle priority is really going to be? I don't think it's going to be top lane, but between mid and bot lane, where do you think they're really going to prioritize?
Now for Z-Max over here on the red side for Team Illumination Valiant, I think definitely the Xinjia should be looking towards that bot lane. As I mentioned, that Zai Rakan bot lane being a really strong bot lane. If they can just get them ahead and really rolling, Zai and Rakan can really just take over the game, just bot side, and then with being able to just take over bot, they can really rotate over through objectives like Dragon and things like that, and really just take over the game in general. So if I'm Z-Max, I'm going bot lane. From Sharkba, now Shyvana is an interesting jungle champion, something that I haven't seen very often, but if you look at Sharkba's OP.GG, you can definitely tell this is a comfort pick for him. So definitely interesting to see how Sharkba plays this out. But I mean, Shyvana being not so much stronger in the early game, having a rather weak early game gank potential. So definitely for Sharkba, it's gonna be, I'm guessing, a lot of bit of power farming in the early game. So if this Xinjia can really get a early gank down in the bottom and get things going, it can look pretty bad for Team Classic Esports.
Yeah, definitely. And unfortunately, very quickly, we've been thrown into a pause here. So taking down the overlay, we're not really showing too much of what's going on, even though we're only a minute into this game. Overall, in terms of win conditions, what are you kind of thinking for these two teams? Like, what is first off, what does Arrow have to do to really win with their team comp?
Arrow. So definitely having the Zai Rakan, again, I'm really going to be focused on like Zai Rakan and being able to pick up both of these champions together, really big for Team Arrow. So if they're going to pick up these two champions, they're definitely going to have to play around it. So Indigo being in the Ari mid lane against the Victor, it's going to be a little bit of an even lane there, both trying to push in as hard as possible. Ari definitely a great roaming champion at level 6. So definitely if she gets to get able to go going and get that bot lane also focused. So I'm saying win condition, focus bot mid to late game, let that Zaya pop off with peel from the Rakan, or just getting a huge engage off with the Rakan and Malphite. Now the Malphite being able to have that unstoppable ultimate with the unstoppable force. If he gets in there and the Rakan can follow up, it wreaks a lot of havoc for Team Illumination Valiant. But if we look over on Team Illumination Valiant's side, I think here this is a little bit more of a story of survive to late game without losing too much of a lead. Right, we have not only the Victor in the mid lane who, after getting a couple item power spike with his completed hex tech core and having a little bit of getting the utility out of Rise and maybe a little bit more damage from a Luden's Echo, definitely a force to be reckoned with. And Caitlyn, although not the strongest AD carry at the moment, having a pretty poor win rate over in just general, but still definitely not a champion to underestimate. If you can get this Caitlyn peeled off and get her pretty far back in the team fight, she can really just go off and just start shredding these tanks such as Malphite a little, and just maybe get off the Xinjia also off the backline. So definitely, I'm pretty sure for Team Illumination Valiant, they're going to be looking to survive the mid game, get to that late game where then they can use the not only amazing engage from the Ornn to get off a pretty good team fight, but also just be able to peel off their carries and Victor and Caitlyn and let them just really just go at it on Team Classic Esports Arrow.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I really want to highlight the Caitlyn that you talked about. It'll be interesting to see how they do with that. We actually saw one last night in the Abyssal League. Gummy Bulls, our own streamer, playing on that. And it is one of those picks that really is kind of fallen off despite the strength of the character's kit. I'm interested to see how they do with it because, yeah, I mean, realistically, I haven't seen it played in the last 3 or 4 patches very much. I don't know if I'm just not playing enough League or not, but...
Nah, I'm pretty sure Caitlyn, not the most popular AD carry up there with being Kaisa, Jin, and other AD carries like that. I mean, Zaya herself, not too popular, but when picked up with Rakan, definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, definitely. And we did just have a reconnection happen. I'm hoping that we'll get back into the game here shortly, but I don't know, man. I don't know about you. I'm starting to run out of things to say with such a long pause right at the beginning of the series.
I mean, one thing I'd probably just look towards is Indigo and his Ahri. I mean, Glacial Augment has been popping up a lot for these mages lately in the mid lane. People are champions such as Veigar, Ahri. Sometimes can be also seen on the Victor with his the proc on the auto attack proc on his Q. Definitely helpful with the Glacial Augment. So, I mean, I honestly haven't seen it too often, but the Glacial Augment does have a lot of potential with being able to slow down your enemy and hit them with that pretty hard CC with the charm. Landing that charm pretty much enables a full combo and a huge damage spike. So definitely looking out to see that Glacial Augment really come into play when in the laning phase here. Because if Indigo gets a really good lead here, she can really or the Aura can really get going and just really look for a roam bot lane, as I mentioned earlier, and get the bot lane going as well. So definitely interesting to see something. So it looks like Z-Max has spotted Shyvana in the river. She's kind of in a hard place, but Preacher Boy on the Alistar just comes in for a little bit of support, pushing into the ball and helped out a lot there, just able to get her out in safety. Well played by Preacher Boy.
Sorry about that. I was having some technical issues. Had to make sure all the overlays were looking right, but
no problem.
Luckily we're able to actually watch something as we get back from that pause here. I do want to real quick take a second to introduce both these teams since we didn't really have a chance yet. So in the top lane for the side of Classic Esports Arrow, we do have Delornis in the top lane on Ornn, Sharkbot17 on the Shyvana jungle, Accelerate playing that Victor in the mid lane, and We're Support AL and Preacher Boy 12 on that Caitlyn Alistar in the bot lane.
And on the red side, we have Team Illumination Valiant with Evil Gambit on the Odyssey Malphite on the top lane. We have Z-Mags on the Xin Zhao in the jungle, Indigo on his Ahri in the mid lane, then Kaneki I play support pair with the Zaya Rakan bot lane.
Yeah, man, and that bot lane will be a fun one to watch. I'm very interested in seeing how Illumination Valiant plays this Lover's lane. And, I mean, like you said earlier, I feel like Xin Zhao, that should be a focus for him. I feel like they have a really good gank potential here in the bot lane. You know, Alistar is pretty annoying, but I feel like with all 3 of them and their CC potential, they can definitely make something happen.
If Kaneki and I play support is able to maintain the wave position as it is right now, getting slowly pushed into the turret, pretty sure Z-Mags might have the time to be able to just walk over and go for a safe linking through the tri-bush. Now, again, as you mentioned, the Rakan, a little bit, not Rakan, the Alistar, a little bit annoying with the headbutt, being able to push him away at a set distance, and especially with the headbutt pulverized combo, being able to actually turn back on the 3v2 if Z-Mags is a little bit far away from the bot lane combo. The Caitlyn AD carry can really just burst him out with the headshot into the trap, into another headshot. I mean, Caitlyn's got a lot of unseen damage if we're not too careful, so definitely going to have to be a little careful when it comes to the game bot lane, but really hoping to see Z-Mag's path downwards after clearing his grunt.
True that, and so far, not a lot of action going on. We're just playing the smart, safe game, you know? Especially in the top lane, not expecting too much to happen up there. This Ornn and Malphite are probably just going to farm it out for the next 15 minutes or so. Both of them taking TP though, so we'll see if they're able to really do anything across the map with that, or if they're just going to use it to keep up the pressure in their lane. But Sharkbot taking a lot of damage initially from Z-Mags on Zen, and he might go down here for first blood. The flash forward. Oh, the smite giving him some health back. And now with the Alistar helping him out, this will be... No, Z-Mags, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it. Preacher Boy now is the main target here. Accelerate coming in, provide some support, and that's good play, really, out of Sharkbait. Being able to find a way to keep himself alive with that smite on the little scuttle crab there. And he was able to even secure it, which is crazy. I mean,
it was looking a little dicey there when Preacher Boy did land the headbutt right back into Sharkbait, but definitely well played by Sharkbait, sticking onto the crab or the scuttle crab, recognizing that heal will be enough to save him, and really just gets away with his life there with just a couple summoners burned.
Yeah, definitely. And so you know, we did see the flash out of both Sharkbait and Z-Mags on these champions. It'll be interesting to see. We did also have Victor using the cleanse because he did not want to get locked down for too long from the RE charm there. So it'll be interesting to see how that impacts. And also Alistar, when he did join that fight, he used his flash and ignite. So bot lane advantage should go over to the side of Illumination Valiant if they're able to make something happen here in the next 5 minutes or so.
And Alistar, without his flash or just summoner spells in general, just really does become a sitting duck if you can get him locked down. If not, it does leave a lot of pressure without the flash pulverized into headbutt combo back into the Caitlyn. It does leave a lot of pressure from Kaneki, so he doesn't have to worry about something else like that. And it looks like Sharkbait did cash in on an early dragon.
Yeah, it is going to be a win drag. Nothing too special, but by getting that off the map quickly, they are able to go ahead and get the next dragon queued up. And it will help out their team a little bit. Obviously, as the jungler, you want to be able to move across the map as quick as possible. So, nothing wrong with picking that up early.
A great pickup for Shyvana, as her passive with Fury the Dragonborn Ash. If she slays more dragons, she gains extra bonus armor and magic resistance. So definitely become a little bit tankier picking up those dragons. So definitely great pickup for Sharkbait there.
You know what? I'm going to be 100% honest. I did not know that she had that passive.
The more you know, Kaiser.
That's got to be that's new, right?
No, I feel like that's been in the game for a while now. I'd say a couple patches, if not for longer.
Okay, a couple patches is new to me. Because I'm sitting here thinking I've had Shyvana on my radar since she came out. That was actually one of the first champions that I spent riot points on back when she came out. Back when
RP for the champion, Kaiser?
Dude, this was like season 3-ish when I think when she came out. It was a different time, man. Especially it's I think they still do it today where you get like the whole package for a champion, so you can get the skins and everything. So that's what I was doing. I was getting the package of skins with the champion. Plus, I just wanted to look cool too. I wanted to be the first one of my friends to have this skin.
The Shyvana passive, I feel like it's been around longer than I can, but looks like I've been a bit of a fight.
Yeah, Sharkbait taking really low here. He's gonna go down for the first blood. The TP in coming through from several of the members, and the Unstoppable Force comes out for Gambit, landing on 3 members of Arrow here. They are going to finally get the TP coming in from Delornes, but I don't know if it's soon enough. The ult coming across for Ornn. He does land on 2 people, and that's going to lead to 2 kills for Arrow, and I don't think they're going to be able to chase down anything more, but they are able to turn this fight and make it a 2 for 2. 1 for 2. They actually ended up getting the heads up on that.
Kaiser, you gotta admit that was looking really bad for Team Classic eSports Arrow, but that great TP from Ornn and that huge call the Forge got to really turn that team fight around. But something that maybe you might have missed, Accelerate with that amazing cleanse and putting down the gravity field right in the middle of that little bit of a chokehold really did slow down Team Valiant, Illumination Valiant, so they couldn't really follow up on Evil Gambits or the Malphite's Unstoppable Force. Small things like that really win you team fights, and you can really see that coming out from Accelerate's play there.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even notice the location of that, but credit to Accelerate. Victor is one of those champions that has some really good early damage, and in the choke point, his gravity field does do a lot. So, I honestly thought Ornn with his TP was a little too late, and I didn't think it was going to work out, but man, was I wrong. The Call of Forge God came across perfectly.
Really well played by Downwards there.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, that's gonna break open this game. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple minutes as we do see Zim making his way down towards the bot lane a little bit.
I mean, it may have been a few early kills, but it did go to the Ornn top lane. Not really more important. Not really as important as the Caitlyn, who did grab the kill. But, I mean, if you look at the items right now, not much of a disparity. We got a little bit of a tango in mid lane.
Yeah, I don't know that Indigo really wants this as Sharkbait's coming up. But then again, his Zhao Z-Mags is right nearby, and he actually might... Nope. I was thinking maybe he was going to dash in on that. But he's playing it safe. He's playing it smart. So, credit to him.
The audacious charge there might have been a little bit too audacious if he did go ahead and right there, especially right near the turret, a little bit dangerous, but good call by Z-Max.
Well, we're back to this game and just kind of waiting around to see what's going to happen.
It looks like both sides of top and bottom. Team Illumination Valiant does have the priority when it comes to the warding in the small little bush, but never mind. It looks like Sharkbait comes to take bot side vision. A little bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, I just realized I don't have my graphics pulled up to show you guys the nice zoom out of the map. So I'm trying to get that pulled up real quick. Sorry for the little bit of lack of support here. I just like to be able to zoom in and out on the game, man. Adds another whole new realm to the game.
Definitely.
Let's also turn off the announcer. Announcer's annoying. Well, it looks like it's not working on this patch of Skin Spotlight. Oh well. It's alright. At the very least, I'll be able to zoom out.
Do they have a new announcer for the Worlds event? Is that?
No, they don't necessarily have a new announcer. Through Skin Spotlight's Creator Suite, you can actually disable the announcer in game, so that it won't do like the whole first or double kill, triple kill, all that stuff, and do like the 30 seconds and all that. Takes all that text off the screen and everything. So it is a nice little tool when you have people casting over a game like we are.
Well, it looks like we're both learning something today, Kaiji. That's cool.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if we look at Indigo real quick, that Hexic GOP first buy, I don't know if that's a new build for Ahri, but I'm really liking it with the Glacial Augment. I'm ready to see some spicy plays.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, it does add a nice little bit of extra CC to the kit.
I mean, it gives you great stats, though. 80 ability power, 600 mana, and 10% CDR. Definitely a great pickup for Ahri, but I just haven't seen this.
We're going to have the fight here over the Infernal Drake. Sharkbait flying in with the ultimate, and Caitlyn actually picking up the first kill on Xin Zhao. So that's going to leave Illumination without a smite here. And now we've got a 2v3 as Ahri is coming, or trying to force her way out of the fight, rather. And Zaya is going to go down here on one side. Preacher Boy not really able to land any more CC on Indigo. He's a little too far away. And Accelerate just a little late to the fight. But overall, that's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Arrow. And they are able to pick up that Infernal Drake. And, man, that's going to hurt a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when looking at how Team Classic era or eSports era really looking for that late game. So that Infernal in the late game definitely a lot more influential than right now. But it's definitely going to start stacking up. I mean, when as soon as these carries, Accelerate, and Worst Support out, they start picking up items. Definitely a little bit of force to reckon with. I mean, but that Dragon fight, you just gotta admit, Z-Max is just a little bit too early on that call. All the important carries bundling up in that Dragon pit for not only Accelerate but also Worst Support out on Caitlyn, hitting with that. I'm pretty sure, what was it, a 2-man Piltover Peacemaker, denting a pretty good sizable chunk from the team. So a little bit unfortunate on the side of Team Illumination Valiant, but what can you do?
Yeah, Worst Support was definitely the damage right there. I mean, they did have Sharkbait going in and doing a decent bit of damage, but for the most part, he was really just kind of focusing down the Dragon after Z-Max fell. Honestly, I think it was Preacher Boy and Worst Support that really got that fight going in their direction. And in the top lane, they just kind of hung out up there. They didn't. I don't think they had teleport up just yet. So both of them just opted to sit there and fight each other rather than trying to run down.
And you can definitely see here Kaneki really wanting to back, not having backed in quite so long, but this turret being so low. If he does back here, that would just mean a free first turret for the Kaneling, not something he wants to give up at this time. I mean, it's going to really delay his back time and really delay his items, especially if he's forced to stay another wave. But
yeah,
if he does back now, they really do just... They're probably pretty much just going to lose the first tower blood here. Really unfortunate for the side of the Illumination Valiant, but a really great pickup for Team Classic eSports.
Well, I was hoping that Kaneki was right there at the goal mark for Stormrazor, and that's why he was trying to base. But actually, he's about 50 gold off or so, and is sitting around waiting for that mark to hit so that he can get the Stormrazor. So I think if I'm him, I would have stayed another wave and picked up the extra gold that he needed rather than wasting time here. But we're Sport AL and Preacher Boy making the roam to Indigo, trying to get something happening here. And you know what? This is Kaneki is still sitting in base. I have to point it out. He's killing a lot of time sitting there waiting for gold. I think I was wrong. It seems like he was closer to 100 gold off. I'm just watching.
No matter how much he's off, I mean, hopefully he starts coming back because this Kaneling's going to start amassing a huge CS lead. Already up almost 30, 40 CS. It's going to be kind of dangerous for Kaneki if he decides to stay in base any longer. But I'm just looking at Finland.
I did look back at the chat here, and he was the one having ping issues earlier. So there is a chance that he's having some issues right now, and they don't feel like they have the time to be able to pause this.
Hopefully they do arrange something real quick because it's approaching almost almost a minute or two for Kaneki's just been in base. Any longer, it might become a little bit too detrimental.
Yeah, definitely. Because you know, in the solo queue games, it's not the worst thing. 4v5, you get the extra XP around the map. You know, you kind of end up out leveling people at some points, and you kind of have a little bit of a chance. But in a 5v5 like this, it's really gonna show here. As Evil Gambit using his ult to get away here.
Recognizing that call of the Forge God, probably not a smart idea to stick around for a huge unstoppable force out of there. But if I'm not mistaken, the unstoppable force is on a shorter cooldown than the call of the Forge God. So definitely not a bad call by Evil Gambit. But definitely it's obviously not that much of a difference, but still, little things like that can really sway fights if you can catch out or without the ultimate.
It's somewhere between a 10-20 second difference depending on the level of the skills. Let me see. Both of them are level 12. And yeah, I was going to look to see if one of them had a higher tier ult than the other. But yeah, for the most part, you know, Call the Forge God will be maybe 20 seconds or so after that unstoppable force. So he should be okay. So if you're... Let me see. Which side do we want to look at first? If you're evil... no. Let's say Illumination first, actually. Playing in the 4v5 situation now. What are they trying to focus on to be able to stay in this game? Are they hoping that your player comes back, or are they making adjustments now to be able to play without him?
I mean, Kaiser, if you ask me, I'm just wondering why they just haven't paused it. Maybe they can't have more than a couple pauses. I mean,
there is a rule to where how long you can have the game paused. Each team is, I believe it's supposed to be allotted 10 minutes. I don't feel like we sat with the game paused for 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah, definitely not.
But yeah, and maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's only 5 minutes. But I feel like you know, if I'm Arrow, I know it's just a bronze silver game. I know we're not trying to sit here all night during a pause. But if there's a chance of Kaneki coming back and he's just having some issues right now, then I would be willing to try to help him out a little bit. But we'll see. I'm sure there's more to the story than we don't know.
A little bit of a teleport on the on Ocean Drake.
Yeah, they saw Z-Bags try to get a little sneaky with this solo Ocean Drake here, and now Sharkbait and Delornace. I don't know how to say his name, man. How do you say that name?
I've been calling Delanoris. I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Dale. Let's call him Dale.
Dale.
Yeah, but the Call of Forge guy coming across here onto I Play Support. He's going to go down pretty quickly, except for that flash going to keep him alive for the moment. Z-Mags is going to turn to the focus, and that's going to be Sharkbait picking up his second kill. Are they going to be able to get the kill? Oh, a nice little snipe there with the Fire Blast, and that's going to be a third kill for Sharkbait.
I mean, Kaneki did end up coming back, but it might just be a little bit too late here, having not only the extra dragon, the Ocean Dragon picked up for Team Classic Esports Arrows, but also dropping 2 deaths on the side, especially on someone like Shyvana, who really does scale up with her not only a Blood Razor, but also now going to be looking for a Blade of the Rune King. So definitely a little bit scary giving these kills, giving her this amount of gold. I mean, really hoping Kaneki can really pick up back, because he's almost at a two-time deficit when it comes to worse, or when it compared to worst support Al, having almost twice as less CS than the Caitlyn. So I mean,
yeah, I don't know. When you add in the kills and the assists that Caitlyn has, it's about a 3k gold differential between these ADCs. I mean, they're both going a very similar build. Both these champions build fairly similar. And you've got the Storm Razor on Xayah, but you've also got the Storm Razor and almost a next item. I think the next time Caitlyn backs, yeah, she's going to have either that Rapid Fire Cannon or Static Shiv. So, regardless, this is a mountain to climb now for the side of Illumination Valiant.
I mean, if I'm Team Illumination Valiant here, it's really just going to be a survive. But it looks like a Evil Gambit got kicked out.
Yeah, it might be hard to survive when you got a team fight breaking out here in the mid lane. Preacher Boy is going to go pretty low at the beginning of this fight. He might go down in the middle here, but that's a nice unstoppable force coming out. And now Call the Forge God coming in. I Play Support's going to be taken out by the Call the Forge God. And now Indigo on the front line trying to do what he can. Kaneki trying to do what he can. But I don't know if there's much that he can really do at this point in the game. I wonder if, okay, sorry, the way I just said Kaneki's name, I wonder if that's a reference back to Greece.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a reference to a Japanese anime series. If I'm not mistaken. It might be to Greece, but I don't know.
It's probably not.
So yeah, I've just been calling it Kaneki, whether Kaneki, Kaneki, I don't really see a difference, guys.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, are you a fan of Greece? Have you seen this movie?
No, I mean, I've seen it, but it's not in my recollection. It's been quite a while, so.
Okay. Wow, that's an all-time favorite, man. That would be a
we gotta watch it later tonight, then.
That'd be a really funny callback if that's what he was going for.
Maybe he is. I mean, but just talking about that last team fight, guys, I mean, you really can see that 80 carry difference in that last team fight. Just we're support out on the Caitlyn, the 3-1 Caitlyn with the extra Storm Razor and almost complete item was really just wailing on Team Illumination's front line there. They really had no answer, especially after Evil Gambit utilizes his unstoppable force to get out of that sticky little situation. I mean, Kaneki just didn't have the levels, didn't have the items, just didn't have the damage to really punch through anyone. So, I mean, really big 80 carry difference showing up in that team fight. And hopefully that they don't get themselves in any type of that trouble anymore. I mean, they definitely need a little bit of time for Kaneki to just pick up some CS, pick up some gold, and just pick up some items. I mean, Indigo does seem to have a little bit of a good kill lead here, but just not picking up the slack for Kaneki. I mean, Kaiser, if you ask me, this game is almost bud over if Team Classic Esports Arrow does narrow down on this Baron, but you never know. I wouldn't count them out just yet.
I'm definitely not counting them out just yet. I mean, the gold differential doesn't look crazy. It's only 4K. But the big difference really does come down to the fact that the Caitlyn on the ADC is much better positioned than Xayah because of not only sitting out, but just these team fights are playing very much in favor of Caitlyn. I mean, even when Xayah was in the game at that first Dragon fight, it definitely leaned towards worse support. He was able to output that early game damage that we know Caitlyn for. I also want to point out that the level differential, that's just going to be a big thing at this point in the game. I mean, Sharkbait's got about a level up on Z-Mag, so any smite battles should go in favor of Arrow. And then worse support is keeping a level up on Kaneki, however you want to say it. I've got Kaneki stuck in my head now. I'm gonna struggle with that one for the rest of the game.
Understandable, it's fine. I mean, honestly though, I think we really gotta give credit where due. I mean, Indigo's been really just keeping his team on their toes. I mean, on their last legs here, because that 3-0 R just pumping out that AoE damage. The Glacial Augment might not be outputting the most damage compared to something like maybe an Arcane Comment or a Electrocute, but it really has been providing a lot of utility for Team Illumination Valiant, so they can really just start kiting backwards and really just slow down Dilanoris and Sharkbait. I mean, gotta really give credit to Indigo for keeping this team alive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both these mid laners honestly playing really well. Both of them with 0 deaths. Victor provided a great utility in these team fights so far. I mean, it's a really unique situation when you've got 2 carries that are playing well for their team that played against each other in the same lane.
Definitely.
But you know, Classic Esports Arrow, they're not quite in a rush to try to get this game over with. They're kind of keeping it short and sweet. They're looking for where they can really prioritize and focus. And right now, the focus is on Z-Mags as he's forced to flash out from Sharkbait's ultimate here. And not too much opportunity to make something happen here. Nothing too crazy happening yet, but the focus is going to turn to this dragon.
Just a little bit of a spook with the Dragon's Descent, but Z-Max might now just be a little bit too low to try going there for a Dragon Steal. I mean, Cloud Drake, not the most important one, but also really good one considering things like rotations and getting around the map, especially with that Baron online. If Team Classic Esports get to push in the bot lane or the top lane or any lane for that matter, and then rotate for that Baron, they got an easier time because of the Cloud Drake.
Yeah, but this team fight breaking out with a nice charm landing on his worst support AL, and he's going to struggle to stay alive here as Rakan jumps on him. We're going to have to look back at the other side of the fight after now worst support has gone down. But, oh my gosh, the map keeps jumping us all around. This fight broke out into too many parts. But in the long run, it was a 2-for-1. Worst support AL is just getting caught out a little bit there.
I mean, if you were looking at that right at the moment, Kaiser, you gotta have to believe that that was the best case scenario for Team Illumination Valiant. They caught out the Caitlyn, they burst him down almost to the point where couldn't be part of the team fight anymore. I mean, in that scenario, I feel like Team Illumination Valiant should have won that 3v3, even though the Victor and Ahri may be a little bit equally matched. The utility from the Malphite and the little bit of a damage coming in from the Xin Zhao, I felt like that would probably be the best case scenario they have for winning any team fight in the, or anything of that matter. So really disappointed that Team Illumination Valiant didn't pick up on that and just really try to go in with while the Caitlyn, a little big damage source was gone, but especially the Shyvana as well, who was chasing the iPlay support on the Rakan. So a little bit disappointed there, but
I'm glad you highlighted the Shyvana chasing because I think that is a big aspect of that fight with Shyvana providing that support onto worst support AL. I think if they had left Caitlyn to her devices, it would have just been a 1-for-1 and nothing would have happened out of it. It would have looked a little bit more in favor of Illumination, but it was good teamwork, good team play out of Sharkbait, providing a little bit of extra damage and trying to keep her carry alive in that fight.
So now it looks like this game has slowed down again a little bit, but I mean, I'm gonna put a little bit more emphasis on this, but Team Classics Esports has been pushing a lot of vision around the Baron pit, so definitely hoping to see a little bit of a Baron play in the near future.
Yeah, definitely. And on the idea, or on the note of Baron, let's look a little bit at what the vision looks like right now. As we're seeing Preacher Boy talk about vision, Z-Mag just walking right into him there, going for his red buff, thinking everything's safe. Buddy, it's not safe.
And it looks like Z-Mags, their jungler goes down, a prime opportunity for Team Classic Esports. That's what it is. Team Classic Esports. Maybe look for a Baron here. I mean, their entire team has coagulated around the pit, so I mean, this could be the prime opportunity for them.
Yeah, and I've got, looking at the Fog of War right now, realistically, at the time the Z-Mags is going in for that, he had little to no vision in that side of his jungle, right? They had a red ward onto the Baron, and they had one vision ward on the Tribush of the top lane. But aside from that, I mean, it's hard to go into your jungle like that at this point in the game. You got to be more careful.
I'm not so surprised though, Kaiser, if you just look at the visions across these two teams, when comparing not only the jungler but also the supports. I mean, Alistar a good 20 CS score above the Rakan, and the Shyvana even a larger, staggering 35 different vision score difference. Really do have to attribute to Team Classic Esports and their vision control for getting that almost or just uncontested Baron pick there. So definitely hope to see that they maybe pull a bit of a power play with this Baron, even almost closing out the game. But let's just hope that Team Illumination Valiant is able to really just stall them out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and on that idea, that's just such a surprising number to see. And I do want to point out Xayah, of course. Although the differential between the two, Caitlyn and Xayah, is pretty huge, that DC definitely did impact that quite a bit. But the only one really winning, well, no, let me say, two people kind of winning is the Malphite and the Ahri on the side of Illumination, using their wards when they can. But it's not like it's not a blowout in terms of the other people. But fight looking to get started here. Not too many of these skills landing as Sharkbait goes in and misses with his ultimate, but I don't think he really needs to land it when he's doing this much damage. Although, you know what? It looks like he's gonna be the first one to go down in this fight. He's already picks up a kill. On the other side, I play support going down on the Rakan, and now Victor doing a lot of damage here before he goes down. That Xin Zhao is forced to run up for his life, but this is actually going in favor of Illumination as Dalinar is coming in really late off that teleport. And
guys, now that's a fight we have to break down a little bit. I mean,
that was hard to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, Dalinar is coming in not even just late, but also just completely waving the call of the Forge God. I mean, it probably wouldn't matter as much as his entire team was dead at that point, but I mean, still. Maybe he could have snuck in a kill with Kaneki, but maybe better safe than sorry. But the whiff on the call of the Forge God. But, I mean, I feel like Worst Support Al really just dropped the bomb with us on that teamfight, Kaiser. I mean, he did go and try to chase for Z-Mags. They're 0, 5, and 4 Xin Zhao, but pretty much just opened himself just to take a lot of damage, auto-attack damage from Kaneki. A really big rookie mistake going for the chase and just getting berated down by the other AD carry. I mean, even at that point while walking away, he could have maybe tried to kite Kaneki. Just looking at the item differences, had he just went on fight with Kaneki, I'm pretty sure he would have won that easily with no question of doubt. I mean, it's still, damn, what a really unfortunate team fight coming out of from Classic Esports. Loses almost all their Baron buffs, having only the Orin to have the Baron buff with the Infernal Dragon coming up.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see how this fight's going to play out as it starts up here. Dalinar going in by himself, but Worst Support AL gets bursted down by Indigo, and this is going to be a terrible team fight once again for Classic Esports, as we got Preacher Boy now looking to go down, and Dale all by himself. Sharkbait failing the ultimate over the wall. He's going to do a decent amount of damage on this front line, but he doesn't have enough all by himself. They are able to get one kill onto the Malphite here, but Shyvana going down quite quickly afterwards, and Dale now dropping as well. That's going to be a 4-for-1 in favor of Illumination Valiant. And Victor, he's not doing a lot of good up in the top lane, pushing by himself.
I mean, man, call it Caster's curse, Kaiser, but the moment I said something about a Baron power play, Team Classic Esports just drops the ball on us. Like, in miscommunication with Accelerate and the rest of the team. Maybe Accelerate trusted his team to be able to 4v5, maybe not. I mean, he just stood top lane, split pushing for a tower, but I mean, Team Classic Esports dropped 4 of their members. Worst Support Al being the first, just getting completely bursted down by Indigo. Really well played by Ahri. But just after that, Sharkbait with the, I mean, call it unfortunate, call it a misplay, but the Dragon Descent missing over the wall and then failing the flash over the wall as well. I mean,
I didn't even see that part.
Yeah, I mean, did it matter as much? Probably not, but still, you hate to see that.
Yeah,
you do. Call it a throw, Kaiser, but now this game is a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot closer as the gold gap is starting to get back about towards 3k gold, really. And you got to think with Arrow having 5 towers up on Illumination, once Illumination starts picking up these towers, if they keep winning team fights like they just did, then eventually that gold gap is going to become nothing.
I mean, now we see that the win condition has become a lot clearer for Team Illumination Valiant. It's pick off that Caitlyn, and they lose a lot of just damage. I mean, the Victor does have a lot of AoE damage, has picked up a lot of items, being the the completely finished perfect Hex Core, Morale-Namicon, and the Rylai's, but still just picking off that Caitlyn does delete a lot of damage from the side of Classic Esports. So, I mean, if Team Illumination Valiant can get another pick off of the bot lane once again like that, things are looking pretty bright for Team Illumination Valiant.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I still feel like all Classic Esports needs to do is get their group together, get in a 5-man, find a way to kill this Ahri, whether it's baiting her out or whatnot. But Realistically, like you kind of hinted at earlier, Indigo's Ari is what's keeping them in this game at this point. The fact that he's gotten 2 great picks in the last 2 fights onto worst support AL has really been a game changer.
Definitely.
And now we got the Unstoppable Force going in. It's missing on everybody. The 5-man group of Classic Esports is not here yet, as Preacher Boy is going into the front line. He goes down really quickly with his buddy Shyvana. But in this fight, Worst Support AL is managing to stay alive, and they are able to get 2 kills back in their for their benefit. And that's not the fight they wanted. I mean, go ahead.
Evil Gambit with the Unstoppable Force. I mean, it was looking really good. Had a probably different team fight, but still. Call the Forge God.
Call the Forge God. It does get the knock up on it too, but both of them living with about 100 health, and nobody was ready to go for it. Oh man, that hurts.
Bad guys are.
I mean, if you're worst support AL, you should maybe step up a little bit and throw the Q in there. That would have been a pretty easy double kill. I don't know if he had it off cooldown, but I'm just saying.
Getting that shutdown golden Ari would mean a lot for Team Classic Esports, but still, I mean, at least they get an inhibitor off of that. Definitely, the source of that inhibitor push got to be that weird team fight or that weird engage come out of Evil Gambit. Maybe it was a little bit of a miscommunication, but I mean, the team definitely looked like they knew it was going in, just not well coordinated enough where Evil Gambit does whiff the ulti and then missing pretty much clean team fight. But I mean, still, both teams have. I mean, I believe both teams are still in this game. They do have both their weaknesses and their strengths here, having both losing their leads and gaining leads. But again, the Baron does come up again, and this time, Team Illumination Valiant playing a little smarter, realizing why they lost it the first time around, and just picking a lot more vision around the map, especially I play support on the combo.
Yeah, and the fun thing about this game is that we are going to at least get one more good big team fight out. I feel like both these teams really aren't in it for the pick game. They're going for the full 5v5s. So I'm looking forward to see how they play out one more good 5v5 as we look at the vision across the map. And luckily this time, it feels like Illumination is setting up a little bit better vision around this Baron. They do have a little bit in the river. They do have a little bit in their jungle. So they're not going to be caught completely off guard if Arrow decides to go for this Baron. And on the other side, Arrow, they're working on getting their vision right now. They're basically trying to clear out everything that Illumination just went in there and fought for, and then some. I
mean, Team Illumination having that Scuttle Crab really does play a lot for the Baron play. I mean, he was just barely whiffing his charm, but yeah.
Yeah, we do want to point out Gambit in the bot lane looking to make a push, and this is a pretty good move as long as he makes sure to teleport at the right time. As Ornn is looking to start this fight, he just landed on the 2 people, and Ari is one of them. She's going really low. I play support, goes down first, but Indigo is going to fall secondly, and now Z-Mags, he's trying to run away. Zaya being focused down by Sharkbait, and that's Sharkbait with the triple kill now. Evil Gambit, you TP'd in, man, but the rest of your team is already going down. You have just enough to stay alive. But that's going to be a fight in favor of Classic Esports Arrow.
I mean, as you mentioned, Evil Gambit did come a little bit too late, but man, was that a really beautiful call the Forge got coming out of Lenores. But not even just that, but just the amount of the combo after coming, the CC lock afterwards, all just as beautiful with Sharkbait on the Dragon's Descent, locking them down. Then for a flash, pulverize from Preacher Boy, keeping pretty much 3 members of Team Illumination Valiant out of the fight for a solid 5 seconds. I mean, really well played there. A lot better than some of their older team fights. But, man, with the Baron, their Team Esports era, or Classic Esports era, is looking to come down for this, the Elder Drake, and it looks like it's almost completely uncontested.
Yeah, this will help them even more so. I mean, the team fight was played really well. The Baron pickup is great. Although they definitely probably could have gotten an inhib off of that since 4 people were down. Or sorry, was it 4? 3. 3. Out of Illumination. But picking up the Elder Drake does a lot for him considering they do have 4 of the 5 dragons for this game. And it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do with it. I think the last team fight that they played out, like you mentioned, was pretty perfect. They did what they needed to do in terms of focusing Indigo down, because he is the person that is going to lose them the team fight if he's able to stay alive.
Definitely. I mean, so Evil Gambit does have his TP down, but Delanour is still with his TP up to opts to just go split push. I mean, pretty much Team Classic Esports Arrow, if they just group up with the Elder Drake having so much combat stats coming out of the burn, they can really just group up, force a 5v5, and almost win 100% of the time. So I'm looking out here for Classic Esports to really just gather around, force the team by whether it be pushing in an objective or pushing in for the inhibitor turret. I mean, they got to force something while the Elder Drake is still live. They just have so much the damage output coming out from the Elder Drake, really huge.
We do have 3 members of eSports Arrow here, and they immediately kill Z-Mags. I don't even know how that happened, but Indigo is going to get the pickup kill onto support. And now Preacher is going to get knocked up. Kaneki is going to use his ultimate to try to get away from this fight, but that is going to be another kill. Actually, Preacher Boy picking that one up. And now the double kill going over for Victor's Accelerate. Man, that is a really weird team fight that just played out there. And all the while, Sharkbait is in the mid lane. He's taking down these Nexus turrets, and this might actually be the game.
I mean, Kaiser, you gotta be wondering, what is Z-Mags doing? Audacious charge right into the 80 carry. What was the 80 carry? Yes, the 80 carry just getting completely blown up. Really just lost his team, or lost the team fight for his team. I mean, man, that's unfortunate for Team Illumination Valiant. They had it going. They picked it back up. They got a couple great team fights, and Indigo was looking really strong, just a linchpin of the entire team. But man, what a sad way to see it all go down for the final team fight. I mean, bro, as much as it was sad for the Team Valiant, Illumination Valiant, definitely well played by Classic Esports, peeling away the Caitlyn from the Ahri. Make sure to get enough damage into the Ahri so that she also goes down with her. So Sharkbait can go for that final push mid lane. I mean, what are your thoughts on that game, Kaiser? I mean, I'm a little bit of mixed feelings here.
I mean, mixed feelings is a good descriptor word for it. I mean, I felt like Arrow did a great job of starting the game. Illumination Valiant did a great job of finding a way back into it in the mid game. Arrow let the ball down in the mid game, and then they were able to kind of figure out their win condition to be able to close that out. I feel like that last team fight was definitely sloppy out of Valiant. It looked disjointed. I don't think they needed to let Caitlyn die in that fight. I think if Sharkbait had just gone to the bot lane and helped his team out, they would have been able to keep that alive. Don't get me wrong, they won the game. It was definitely a tactic that won them the game by going to that split push. It just seemed like they could have had a little bit more of a macro mentality there at the end of the game. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in game 2 here.
Definitely.
So out of the play so far, who do you feel like is your MVP of that game?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious, Kaiser, but I gotta give it to. I mean, Team Illumination Valiant did lose the game, and they did lose it in a very sloppy manner, as you mentioned. But I mean, Indigo really did hold down that team for the first 20 minutes, I'd say 30 minutes. Even with the 80 carry Kaneki AFKing for a solid, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes. He did hold it down, made sure that Kaneki had enough time to pick up a couple items, and then really just burst out worst support AL in a couple of those team fights. Getting those 2 picks, as you mentioned earlier, really big turning points for the game. But just unfortunate that Team Illumination Valiant couldn't just take that lead with them, and that it had to turn out this way.
I completely agree with you. I think that they played really well around Indigo. I think he did an amazing job of making very few mistakes and making plays happen. I would definitely go with Indigo as my MVP. I think that's the first time we've given an MVP to the team that lost. But that said, we will be getting into game 2 here shortly. We are going to take a quick break while we get set up for the next game. So please stay tuned, enjoy the music, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Been summoned for a special occasion. I stay ready cause destiny impatient. Changes, I've been seeing changes. If you talking fire, then we speak the same language. And mine don't ever get extinguished. Could count my friends on one set of fingers. And they trying to cut the supply, but my energy is at an all-time high. Coming up, I'm coming up. Feel the rush, I feel the rush. If this ain't legendary, what you call it? I said if this ain't legendary, what you call it? Feel the vibe, I feel the vibe. Extra live, I'm extra live. And I don't need improvement. Fell asleep, a man woke up superhuman. Tension thick enough to cut it with a knife. The pressure building like it's trying to bust a pipe. Chaos don't take a day off, lot of wrongs to right. I was built for the hustle, hard work and late nights. Oh no, they never seen a force like this. 5 fingers balled up in the one firm fist. So if history is written by the victor, then leave blank pages with a space for my picture. Cause this is what I live for. Let's go. Coming up, I'm coming up. Feel the rush, I feel the rush. If this ain't legendary, what you call it? I said if this ain't legendary, what you call it? Feel the vibe, I feel the vibe. Extra live, I'm extra live. And I don't need improvement. Fell asleep, a man woke up superhuman. Pressure turned me into a giant. A thin line between living and dying. I'm on the edge and I might just dive in. No turning back, man, I'm ready to go. Coming with me or I'm going alone. Changes, man, I'm talking changes. On a crash course, but I ain't afraid of danger. Now let me give you what you came for. Woo!
Something's gonna bring the change. Journeys we are meant to take. Something at the edge of space, calling us to fly away.
Coming up the hill, I'm ready, coming out the jungle. to break out. They're the ones wishing they could turn around. Big bangs to cover up your head before the bomb blast. It's coming soon, so you better think fast. I never thought you'd fall from first to last. Wide-eyed, hot, wide, locked and loaded. Say the word, 'cause you know that I'm dying to go. Come on. Yeah, we were born ready. Yeah, we were born wild. Yeah, come on and get ready. 'Cause we're bringing the fight. Come on. Yeah, we were born ready. Yeah, we were born wild. Yeah, come on and get ready. 'Cause we're bringing the fight. Come on, stand up and give a little love to the leader. Yeah, take a little lesson from the teacher. Raise your hand, gonna make you a believer. It's done, it's over before I ever stepped in. I caught you flat-footed while you're resting. I never take it easy, better up it in. Wide-eyed, hot, wide, locked and loaded. Say the word, 'cause you know that I'm dying to go. Come on. Yeah, we were born ready. Yeah, we were born wild. Yeah, come on and get ready. 'Cause we're bringing the fight. Come on. Yeah, we were born ready. Yeah, we were born wild. Yeah, come on and get ready. 'Cause we're bringing the fight. Yeah. Yeah, we were born ready. Yeah, we were born wild. Yeah, come on and get ready. 'Cause we're bringing the fight. Come on. Yeah, we were born ready. Yeah, we were born wild. Yeah, come on and get ready. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, we were born ready. I come from a world where all alarms are false. I come from a world that only has one pulse. In all worlds, nothing is immutable. Our nature is gentle, and the divine is mental. And inside this realm of shared understanding, everyone floats when ideas are landing. Oh, my love. what you want, what you want. All you need is what you want, what you want, what you want. All you need is what you want, what you want, what you want. All you need is what you want, what you want, what you want. You come from a world that suffers from neglect, and all beliefs your world will not accept. And inside this realm of shared understanding, everyone falls when ideas are landing. Oh, my love. The world has got you controlled and silent. You can't fill a hole with a billion empty souls. Your world has got you alone and silent. You can't fill a hole with a billion empty souls. Your world will fail, my love. It's far beyond repair. Your world will fail, my love.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Overdrive Gaming Bronze and Silver League. Tonight we are featuring Classic Esports Aero and Illumination Valiant. We are going into game 2 here with these two teams, and after game 1, what do you think Illumination Valiant needs to change up to get this game 2 in the right direction?
I mean, Kaiser, Illumination Valiant last game did show a little bit glimpses of some really good comeback and some really great ideas, just keeping Indigo safe on that RA. So first thing I'd be looking for is to get Indigo on another mage, control mage, or someone who can really just pick out the AD carry and really kind of just get the team fight a little bit more controlled. So whether they pick up the Ari again, I'm all for it. Indigo had a great showing on it. I mean, Illumination Valiant really gonna have to pick up some slack in that early to mid game, especially on that bot lane. I was hoping a little bit more from Kaneki and I play support on Design and Rakan bot lane, but if Kaneki keeps on disconnecting like last game, we're gonna have a bit of an issue, Kaiser. But hopefully not. Illumination Valiant gets their act together to get the game going. But on the side of was the Classic Esports Aero. Now they did have a really great showing in the early to mid game. Playing around the strengths of the Caitlyn very well, but there was a little bit of sometimes miscommunication with amongst the team, letting Caitlyn and or Preacher Boy going together alone, and getting just completely rocked, or just the Caitlyn itself by herself getting picked off. Now, definitely, if you're gonna put her on another immobile AD carry like Caitlyn once again, we're gonna have to look for a little bit better appeal, a little bit more of a position awareness from a worse support out, but other than that, I'm excited to see how this game goes down. What about you, Kaiser?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in I really agree. If you are Illumination Valiant, the hot spot for your team, or the bright spot for your team, was that Indigo Ari in the mid lane. And so if you can pick it up again, that'd be great. If you cannot pick it up again, then I think you need to be looking to at least play around the mid lane again. Play around the area of the map that was doing so well in your first game.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, like you said, we really don't know if Kaneki is going to be reliable.
Mm-hmm. And so we see the Kaisa and the Jin ban, the Kaisa, Jin, and the Alistar ban for the side of Illuminate Valiant. I mean, the Alistar support coming out from Preacher Boy 12 did show a couple of glimpses of success in the last game, but I mean, if they're so scared of the Alistar, I'm all for it. But last game wasn't the biggest problem. If anything, I would have maybe banned out something a little bit more problematic like the Ornn, but the Jin and Kaisa I do see as great bans, as both of them are very strong AD carries right now. Getting them off the table so that they can counterpick any AD carry that comes out next, coming out from CE era. Looks good, and it looks like they do pick up the Urgot after bans. Now, to my knowledge, Urgot probably one of the strongest top laners, if not the strongest top laner, having great sustain through the early game, having great poke and a lot of great tools to survive, but also having a lot of strength in the mid to late game. Okay, so what do you think about that pick?
Yeah, I mean, so we saw Classic Esports Arrow go ahead and lock in the Orianna for Accelerate. And so with Ari being left up open on the table, you already see what the other enemy team's mid lane is going to be. They felt comfortable locking that back in, and it'll be really interesting to see how that matchup goes in this second game. And then in terms of ADCs, we're seeing Worsport AL opting to take the Xayah away from Kaneki. So I'm wondering what they're going to pull out for this next game. Maybe they'll just trade ADCs. Maybe Kaneki's going to play that Caitlyn. It'll be interesting to see.
I mean, for CE Arrow, they did have the second pick up Rakan with the Xayah, but maybe Rakan is not Preacher Boy's pick. Strong bot lane together, although we didn't really see it showcased well in the last game, it is still a very strong bot lane. So I'm pretty sure predicting a Rakan, someone with really great early, with great engagement, with his the grand entrance. I'm pretty sure the Sivir was picked up for that reason, for the spell shield being able to block a lot of the Rakan's early engage, but instead it looks like CE Arrow does just opt to pick up the Shyvana, who Sharpie did have a really great showing of last game, being able to power forward through the early game.
Yeah, I mentioned it'll be interesting to see what Kaneki gets picked up for him. They do lock in that Sivir for the bot lane, so like you're mentioning, it'll be interesting to see what support they go with, but it looks like the teams are opting to ban out more of the top lane focus. With the Udyr, Jax being banned out from CE Arrow, and Illumination Valiant banning out the Kled and the Ornn. So we're not going to see an Ornn again this game. It'll be interesting to see what the new top laner will be in that matchup, and I don't know if we should necessarily see the Malphite either. It had some impact in some aspects of the game, but I feel like there's got to be a better pick out there.
Especially against the Urgot, you don't want someone like up and close and personal for that melee range for this, because as I mentioned earlier, Urgot, a lot of great early tools, being able to poke him out early and deal a lot of damage, so definitely not something you want to pick into. So I'm really liking the Gnar pick coming out of the era. It's going to be a little bit of extra range in top lanes to keep that Urgot at bay, keep him still. I mean, definitely great. In response, we have Illumination Valiant picking up the Braum and Warwick. Now, Warwick against the Shyvana. Warwick, again, just like the jungler from last game being Xin Zhao. I mean, does have does have great ganking potential compared when compared to Shyvana, who's more of an early game power farmer. I mean, definitely something to look out for. But also the Braum. I mean, Braum's a really great pickup here, just in general, as if the CE Arrow does just decide to, or opt to take the Rakan with the Xayah, the Braum really does slow everything down with his ultimate, with his stand behind me, and Unbreakable Wall. I mean, just a lot of his tools just help down slow the Xayah and Rakan bot lane, but instead we do see CE Arrow pick up Morgana. I know that Morgana does have a lot of the same tools with the Black Shield, but I don't know, Kaiser, what are your thoughts on these picks? I think Kaiser is a little bit busy fixing out the overlays a little bit, so I'm picking up a little bit. So
yeah, sorry.
No problem.
I might mute it for a second, so all my typing wouldn't show up on the streamcast. But
okay.
Luckily, these two teams, quick load-in speed. We're already looking to get into the game here in a second. So, which team comp are you really preferring? Because I think I'd have to favor CE Arrow's team comp so far.
CE Arrow's definitely got a solid team fight with a lot of team fight potential with it. Dalinoris on the Gnar top lane and Accelerate with Orianna. If he can get just that Orianna ball on top of Dalinoris with in the Mega Gnar form, that's going to be huge team fight potential with the Gnar R and the Orianna Shockwave. So great team fight potential there. with a great backline to support it through the Zaya. But honestly, I wouldn't underestimate team Illumination Valiant's team comp either.
Yeah,
Having
definitely.
Indigo again on that Ari and having Kaneki in the back being able to just throw out his auto attacks with his W Ricochet. Again, nothing to underestimate. So, I mean, both teams looking pretty good here. But, again, I do have to agree with you, Kaiser. Team CE Arrow do look pretty competent in their team fighting capabilities and also their lane capabilities. So, definitely we'll have to watch out for.
And sorry, we're getting the overlays cleaned up a little bit. I know they still look like they were from the last game. That's because they were. So now you should have it accurately displayed on the screen for you. We've got CE Arrow up 1-0 in this series so far, this best of 1. And we already did an introduction for both teams, but I'm interested to see how this jungle matchup goes, considering that was one of kind of like the hot spots. Both junglers did pretty decently in the first game. It really didn't feel like one overplayed the other. And so I'm anxious to see with both of them on, well, with Sharkbait on the same champion, which did really well, but Warwick being played now by XL. It'll be interesting to see how this matchup goes out now that hopefully both the teams are going to have a full regular start. No interruptions, no pauses, no lag. We'll see.
Well, I mean, as you mentioned, the jungle matchup, XL does on the Warwick with just the natural lifesteal that Warwick does gain from his passive. I mean, so he does have the extra health he clear, have the better gank potential in the early, but again, if we do see Sharkbait in the be able to pick up a couple kills, with to pick up a lot of camps, I mean, he's going to be a force to reckon with mid to late game, being able to jump on any of these carries and really just do wreak havoc on them with the immense amount of DPS she does bring, especially to go for the Blood Razor build again. So, I mean, this is all going to really come down to their jungle. XL decides for his early game ganking potential. If you can get all these other lanes ahead faster than Sharkbait can get into a really decent position with items, I mean, Illumination Valiant is going to be looking pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely. And so far, not too much action is going to go down. I feel like it's going to be very similar to the first game, where we'll probably have a good 5 minutes or so here of nothing too much going down. We did have both the junglers kind of start opposite sides, and were able to get the opposite scuttle crabs. So it's going to be, or sorry, they didn't start opposite sides, but they got the opposite scuttle crabs rather. And so with that Infernal Drake spawning first, and like you were just talking about the Warwick sustain, I'm wondering if there'll be a little bit more priority focus on that contestation there for the first dragon. So we did see Shyvana take it early in the first game.
As you see here, Sharkbait level 2, just basically a camp or 2 down from getting the extra level. She does miss out that Scuttle Crab on the top side, so the Warwick is up a level, and she's also down a lot of HP, having to burn a smite just to get a little bit of HP back. So, I mean, if XL opts to take the early dragon here, he won't have much contest from Sharkbait. So, taking that away from the Shyvana would help a lot, especially with the passive that we did learn earlier. Does provide an extra bit of armor and magic resist when you pick up a dragon. So definitely something Sharkbait wants decides to pick that up before him. Definitely would be a smart decision. So we do see in the jungle a little bit Sharkbait getting chased by XL. I mean, had XL been a little bit closer, maybe burning the flash, he could have killed him, but instead he opts to take out the Scuttle Crab. Really great control around the Dragon Pit, especially with the Shyvana. Looking a little bit, looking a little with the bot lane to take it, but you know, as we mentioned earlier, Sharkbait just a little too low, a little bit not strong enough to take it yet. So
yeah, definitely. Sorry, man, I had to take a phone call real quick there for a second.
Definitely no problem. No
leaving
problem.
you hanging, but yeah, I'm interested to see where this bot lane's gonna go, man, because I don't know about you, Morgana's been a consistent ban for me recently. Just such an annoying champion to play against, even though I really don't think it's like a broken champion. It's just in the solo gameplay, when you're playing solo queue, it can be very frustrating to go against. And so I'm interested to see in this 5v5 setting how Worst Support AL and Preacher Boy are going to do with this, because I play support on the Braum. It is a decent matchup. I feel like they will see the CC coming, even with his ultimate. It is broadcasted a little bit. So hopefully Preacher Boy should be able to land some black shields. The real game changer will be if the synergy between support and Kaneki is good enough to where they'll be able to adjust based on which one is spell shielded. They change focus or are able to just power through the damage without the CC. But it'll be, regardless, I'm interested to see how that lane's gonna play out. And honestly, I'm really interested to see how the Sivir will work for the team comp of ILV, because I feel like that's a main reason to play Sivir in a 5v5 comp, is to be a supporting player.
I mean, if you do look at Kaneki, I mean, on the Sivir, so the Sivir ultimate on the hunt, a really big part of these huge team fights. I mean, I think it's going to have a pretty massive impact on these mid to late game team fights. If you see with the, not only with the Warwick, but also the top lane, Urgot and the mid lane Indigo and Ahri, giving everyone a little bit of a movement speed boost just to catch up the team CE Arrow a little bit earlier. Really, really helpful, and especially since the XL on the Warwick does gain a little bit of extra range with the movement speed, has a lot of synergy with movement speed things. So really, I'm really interested to see how Kaneki really decides when to use the on the hunt, when and how they're gonna really just engage these team fights with.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where this Warwick decides to strike first, as our map, or our field of view, is now consistently inhibited by the Warwick on the hunt kind of smell. Yeah, the blood scent there. I didn't realize that in Spectator it did this for Warwick on the hunt.
I mean, hopefully it'll go away after a little bit, but I mean, Spectator bugs, it's always been a thing, Kaiser. I mean, as annoying as...
You think this is a bug, or do you think this is meant to happen?
I think it's 100% a bug. There's no way the on the blood hunt should last this long, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I mean, I think it's lasting this long because War Support AL has been low for this long. But the fact is, we're not focused on that player. We're not playing that champion, so it's weird that it would have the effects of one champion show for every person that we're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, hopefully it does go away because it is a little... It's making me tripping out, bro. But
it's just adding some extra drama to the game now.
For sure.
But Sharkbait going kind of low to his blue buff there. Man, oh
He
man.
I mean, he does pick up level 6 before XL, so maybe he can look for a gank with the Dragon's Descent, but XL also probably be picking up level 6 after the red buff, so now the Infernal Drake is still online, so XL being a little bit healthier, this could just be really an easy dragon for him to pick up, but fortunately there are no deep wards in the red side jungle, so there's no way to tell how low Sharkbait is and when they should be able to take it, so unfortunate, but hopefully he does take it before Sharkbait does recall back, because as I mentioned, getting that Unborn or the Dragonborn passive, it really does start stacking up after a while, especially for champions like Xayah, Orianna, and Shyvana. You really don't want the Infernal Dragon scaling to be on these champions rather than someone like Sivir or Ahri, so hopefully XL does recognize this and pick it up. But they do have both pretty competent vision on both on the objective, so we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, it'll definitely be something to look forward to. And so far in this game, I mean, it feels like Illumination is doing a much better job in terms of their vision control. I feel like they realized how much they started to slack off in the first game, and they don't want to do that again.
Definitely.
So, I'm glad to see that they're really picking that up, and I'm hoping that will be a forward trajectory for him. Having more vision across the map allows for better ganks, less picks so that can happen on you, and so just all around, hopefully it's a sign of a improvement for Illumination in this series.
If we look at the bot lane real quick, both bot lane, oh actually never mind, a little bit top lane going on.
You go ahead, you can talk about the bot lane. We'll ignore what's going on in the top lane for a moment.
Alright, I mean, just looking at both these 5 CS, not too much of a big CS lead coming out yet, but both of these AD carries have yet to back. I mean, well, Cash Curse looks Kaneki is starting to back now, but had Sharkbait and or XL look for a fight down there, it would have been an even fight one coming to the bot lane, so I guess it doesn't really matter now, but he does get the cheeky red steal up the top lane, so...
A for effort for making the call out.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it doesn't matter now. That was funny.
I mean, it does look like Sharkbait is going for the Infernal Drake now, but he is on top of the ward.
He's on top of the ward, and we do see Ari already kind of like drifting towards it. Basically, Indigo showing that they know about the Drake happening, but he did get the shockwave off there. Accelerate was looking to maybe keep Indigo off of it, maybe even look for that first blood, but so far we're going to keep this game 0-for-0. We're going to keep this game interesting. We've got one Infernal Drake now, and that's about the only advantage for Classic Esports at this point, because in terms of gold, there's almost a 2k gold differential building up. There is more than 2k actually, just based off of the farm CS difference.
I mean, for that Infernal Drake, XL did pick up a couple camps. A little bit of miscommunication on their part of Team Illumination Valiant. Had they recognized the bot lane was, or that Kaneki and iPlay support was going to back, XL should have been hovering on the top side in fear of the bot lane and Sharkbait rushing the dragon, but unfortunately there they do pick up an dragon almost uncontested. Indigo trying to sneak in a little bit of a sneaky Q, but I don't know, just gets shockwaves out of the situation, so not much of a big deal there. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, that gold lead, it's pretty much at 2k right now, so we can really attribute that just to the CS differential that's building up, not only in the top lane, but in the mid lane and in the bot lane. But all three laners are doing really well when it comes to farming on the side of Illumination Valiant, but item difference wise, it's not really starting to show, or not yet at least.
Yeah, it's not starting to show yet, and I mean, I don't expect this little bit of CS lead to do too much to the side of CE Esports, or sorry, CE Aero. But if this does go to late game, and like the trend does continue, then it's definitely not going to allow Aero to get an advantage very quickly if they do start to get a kill or two, because I mean, CS is the name of the game realistically. A lot of gold in this match comes from killing those little minions every time, so it'll be interesting to see if this trend continues, if Xayah continues to be outpaced by the Sivir.
I mean, on the Xayah, the Ricochet and the Boomerang Blade does provide for a lot of waves for that where support Al has been having a little bit of trouble matching. So in the mid lane though,
yeah, in the mid lane they were trying something. They were trying something sneaky, but so far we're just keeping this game 0-0, man. Nobody's looking to overcommit for a fight.
And honestly, not overcommitting fight, just farming. I feel like this really does just go in favor for sorry about that. In favor for Team Illumination Valiant. I mean, just being able to farm away slowly, being able to pick up a lead, it really does help out for that mid game when when team fights start breaking out. As we mentioned, Kaneki with on the hunt on the Sivir really does allow for a lot of team fight potential. Although Don Norris and XLA does have really great synergy when it comes to team fight potential. I mean, if they just do get overwhelmed by the movement speed and just the rushing Urgot and Warwick, it's really hard for them to really pick up any pace in the team fight. So definitely, this keeps going on. I feel like Illumination will have a little bit of a lead and will be able to come up on top.
I'll tell you what, man, I haven't casted too many games recently, but I have been streaming a lot of League games recently, and I don't feel like there's been many games that I've had in these amateur leagues, plural, multiple amateur leagues, that have gone for the first 14, almost 15 minutes without a kill. These teams are playing very careful. Nobody wants to make the wrong mistake, because once the first kill happens, I feel like it's going to be just all complete chaos from there.
Man, but slow games sometimes are really boring to cast, though. But other times, it's just nice to chill. You know what I mean, guys?
Yeah, tell it like it is. It can be boring at times. You know, I don't mind a little chill game simply because today has been a long day, man. As some of you guys probably realized, getting home, the stream starting a little late was a result of me getting home right as stream time was starting. So it's all good though. Sometimes you just got stuff like that going on.
I know. Kaiser, kudos to you though, still trying to make it on time.
Oh yeah, man, of course.
Big thanks to that.
Yeah, man. Commitment to the craft.
For sure.
But it'll be interesting to see whether or not Illumination is going to be able to pull out this game. Because, I don't know, I do really like, I know I gave you the chance to talk about team comps a little bit beforehand. I feel like the team comps, especially on the side of Illumination, is much more team fight oriented, whereas CE Arrow, I'm getting mixed up. CE Arrow is much more team fight oriented, and Illumination is way more pick comp oriented. Especially with the Warwick and the Urgot in mind, and especially how we saw Indigo's already played in the first matchup. So, if CE Arrow could find ways to force team fights, can group around these objectives, I think they'll be alright in this matchup for the most part. But so far we haven't seen that happen. We did see them get the Infernal Drake, but there's this pressure coming down onto Preacher Boy. The shield comes in from the Oriana ball, but I think they're leaving Preacher for the moment. He is able to flash away after landing a nice little root onto two members of Illumination. And First Blood, still not here.
That stop, the ultimate and the stopwatch coming out of Preacher Boy to stop the aggression really quickly and let her get out with the flash. Very well played, but also just really unfortunate for Illumination. Valiant did look like he was a really good pick. So it did really look good for the for Illumination Valiant, but the Black Shield just being able to take it out, really nice for coming out from Team CE Arrow. So now Rift Herald, the one that XL did get last, I'm pretty sure at the time he was top lane, takes out the mid turret for First Blood. So that's a really big gold boost for Team Illumination Valiant. Now closing in almost a 4K gold lead. But it does look like a little bit of a misplay coming out from Team Illumination Valiant, deciding to rotate top lane instead of going for the bot lane objective of the Infernal Drake. Team CE Arrow gets to take Infernal Drake almost uncontested by the Warwick and the Saber, just completely outnumbered, nothing they could really do. But hopefully Team Illumination Valiant does pick up the, as I said, the top lane turret. So definitely, in my opinion, not worth, especially when looking. And when looking into the late game, the turret won't have as much as impact as an Infernal Dragon would, but I guess for now, opening up the map does seem to please Illumination Valiant, so definitely have to see how that really does help them out in the long run. So in the mid lane, we do see a little bit of unfortunate Dragon Descent missing itself, but Sharkbait still refuses to call it quits and keeps on running in, but XL missing the fear, have to waste the infinite duress to get out. Indigo for support, misses the stun, but he heads with the Glacial Augment going in with the ult, slowing him down, but it doesn't. Indigo picks up First Blood, the Ignite popping onto Accelerate and getting for the double kill. Really well played by Team Illumination. The Valiant being able to pick up the first 2 kills of the game. 2 kills that I would say would be pretty game-turning, especially since how Illumination Valiant did have a little bit of a gold lead before. Now pushing that up to almost a 6K gold lead. Really well played by Team Illumination Valiant.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, with Warwick and the Braum rotating and being in the same place of the map that is not bot lane, kind of caught CE Arrow a little off guard, I believe.
And for their efforts, they do seem like they're about to get the mid lane tier 2 turret, opening that mid even further for the Baron Nash that'll be live in almost a minute. So really great decision and a really great pickup for Team Illumination Valiant.
Yeah, picking up this third tower, like you said, it's only going to grow the gold lead here. We have about 7K differential now at this point, and I don't think CE Arrow's out of it. I mean, it's 2 kills. I think they have a great team fight comp, but in that fight there, that was a pick realistically for Illumination, and that's the game they're playing for. So if Arrow allows Illumination to play this game, this pick style, and they don't find a way to come up with team-focused fights, they're going to struggle in this one. I think so far Arrow has done a good job picking up those 2 Drakes, but they definitely need to find a way to put some more team focus, whether it's on turrets, whether it's around the Baron. When that comes around, I don't know yet, but we'll see what they decide to do and if the macro play is up to the challenge.
And with the Baron coming up live in just about 10 seconds, I really want to see both of these teams get that objective vision control. This game, the vision score is not too big of a differential compared to last game, but Team CE Arrows getting in position to get those deep wards in, to get those wards around the Baron pit. I mean, vision is the name of the game here, kind of. The one with the superior vision really does get to call when the Baron goes, when the Baron fight happens, and honestly, the Scuttlecry getting picked up by Sharkbait, another big influence on the Baron fight.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, these two Infernal Drakes are going to be very important. I'm very interested to see what the next Drake is. Yeah, I don't want to pan the spectator over. Maybe you can do that for me.
Gotcha.
But
Another Infernal.
it's another Infernal, man. So I feel like that should be a big focus for CE Arrow. I don't think they need to give up Baron for it, but I think that they should try to find a way to force a fight around that Infernal Drake, or just get it picked up in some way, win that spawn, because that would be a great pickup. But Preacher Boy walking into the Braum here does land the root, but he's also gonna take a lot of damage, and they do have 4 members here as the Shyvana dives in. Sharkbait looking for some damage on I Play support, but they really just don't have the CC for this fight to make it happen. And now Ari, Indigo, looking for the fight against Accelerate. Accelerate does land the knockup, but Indigo has too much damage. His Ari play has just been outstanding so far tonight. And he's going to pick up his first solo kill of the game. Actually, sorry, Warwick ended up picking that one up. Man, I'd be a little mad if I'm Indigo right now.
I mean, Indigo did flash for it when XL could have just ran up for the Q. I mean, he really wanted that kill, but XL being a little bit of a little greedy.
He wants to be the carry, man. He's tired of us. He's tired of hearing us talk about Indigo's play. He doesn't want Indigo.
Maybe
to be
that's
MVP.
it.
He just wants to feel important. But nice little grinding landing here. I don't think it's going to amount to anything as Sharkbait and XL trade swipes at each other. At the same time,
yeah.
I was going to say at the same time, Evil Gambit and Dalinor both trading swipes at each other as well. I don't know, man. The longer this game goes and the more we're seeing these fights play out, the less confident I am in the ability of CE Arrow to play this team comp correctly and find the ways to make it work for him.
I agree 100%. If CE Arrow can't get grouped up while the Dalinor is on the Mega Seller has that shockwave available, I'm pretty sure they're going to lose any chance of getting back into this game. But I mean, still, they do have the 2 Infernal Dragons, so scaling is not a problem for them. It's just a matter of fact if they can use that scaled up damage, or if they can pretty much get themselves in a safer position where that scaling really does matter. But it looks like Preacher Boy getting caught out a little bit.
Yeah, he's getting caught out a little bit, and that's going to be a ton of damage, man. The Spell Shield is not going to save you from that. I play support, though. He's caught in a bad position as Sharkbait came in from the side there, and Zaya's going to be the first one to pick up a kill for the side of for the side of Arrow. And they are looking like they're going to get away. Once again, the CC out of Arrow is just struggling right now. And they are going to look for this Infernal Drake. This might be what they needed. Urgot should probably look to start roaming down, but he's still staying in the top lane. The flash, oh, and the smite comes through from Warwick. And now he's going to try to escape from this fight. Indigo is going to take a lot of damage, put out a lot of damage on the Sharkbait. And now XL jumping back in. They are going to pick up 1 kill on the Sharkbait here. And what looked like a good turn and a good fight out of Arrow quickly turns into a free dragon for XL and a free kill for Indigo.
XL with a great pickup on that smite. I mean, it would have been really, really looking bad if Team CE Arrow did have all 3 Infernal Drakes, but he pulled the trigger, he did flash in and go for it. So, I mean, great pickup from XL. Pretty big coming out of that team fight, but just really unfortunate for Team CE Arrow. It was looking good. They got the pick. They run into the Infernal Dragon. They thought they had it. Just the Warwick with the flash over into the pit, getting that smite steal.
There's something about CE Arrow's team comp that just isn't working out. Whether it's not having the CC at the start of the fight, because a lot of their CC is either the shockwave from Accelerate. Preacher Boy has, for the most part, single target CC unless he can stay in the middle of enough people to be able to land that ultimate. Or Dalinor on the Gnar, but he really hasn't been there at the beginning of any of these fights. I mean, their CC is just kind of like dysfunctional, and it's hard for them to get going together. And at the same time, I kind of hinted at it with Preacher, the squishiness of their team comp. I mean, even Sharkbait, he's kind of dying fairly quick in these fights. He's building a more damaged build, or at least he was. Now he's looking for that. Maybe Spirit Visage, maybe something else that's going to give him a little bit more magic resist against Indigo. And still, even in this fight right here, Indigo is doing quite a bit of damage to Sharkbait.
I mean, in these team fights, guys, you really that team fight was pretty much a perfect position for Team CE Aero to look for a really winning team fight. They were in a choke point. They were in the jungle where the AoE shockwave should have taken out pretty much the entire team. Downers getting a little low there, but Evil Gambit missing the ultimate. So the Infinite Duress.
Yeah, Sharkbait, unfortunately, he is going to go down to his counterpart XL there. And at the same time, Preacher Boy, he's going to go down to the Sivir of Kaneki. So that's a nice shockwave attempt, but it really doesn't do too much there as the spectator camera decides to send us to the top lane to watch the fight between Urgot and Dalinar. And Dalinar, unfortunately, XL made the roam to the top lane and is able to pick up that kill. But that allows Worst Support AL to get 1 kill here. Is he going to get 2? I don't think he has the speed to. And now XL, he is here and he smells blood. He's got 2 people in front of him. He's looking to pick off Accelerate first. And now Indigo cleaning up Accelerate on the other side of the fight.
For a clean, well, I guess not so clean, but a clean ace for the side of CE Aero. On the side of CE Aero, but I mean, that was a little bit sloppy if I say so myself, Kaiser. Team CE Aero trying to move back and forth between the two little skirmishes on the top side and the mid side. I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point it's just coming down to this item differential, Kaiser. Because if we look at the gold differential, it's almost at a solid 13,000 now. Before the fight, I think it was just a little bit like under 12,000, if not just about 12,000. So definitely not too much of a differential. But if we look at the items now, CE Aero on the Orianna versus the Accelerate on Orianna versus Indigo on the Ahri. Although it was down a little bit less before the team fight, Accelerate is down almost a full item or 2. With Indigo having the Banshees, the Morellonomicon, and the GLP, Hexa GLP finish. That's 3 items under her belt, while Accelerate only's got the Luna's Echo finish and just a little of the components of the Banshee's belt. So the amount of damage coming out between these 2 carries, huge difference between the 2, and I feel like that's the real reason as to why CE Aero, although having a really great team fight comp, just doesn't have enough of damage to really break through any of these team members.
Yeah, definitely, and we are seeing the teams start to build up around Baron now, starting to build up that vision game again, and this might be the last attempt for CE Aero. This is the last big hook that they have in getting into this game. They really do need to make a good quality team fight happen, preferably when Urgot's not around, since he does not have that teleport to get to the lane, or get to the fight. And now with the nice root on the Braum here, so Sharkbait is going to dive in. They're looking for iPlay support. Indigo forced to go into this fight, and she goes down really, really quickly. And now Kaneki's in a bad position as Worst Support AO does come through. We do have XL looking to make something happen, but this is a net win for CE Aero, picking up the 2 kills without much of a response from Illumination.
Although that may have been a win, it does look like Evil inhibited turret if war support AL can't respond quickly enough. Yeah, no problem. And so in that pre-Baron fight, in front of the Baron pit, it looked a little bit good. Downers had a little pick on Indigo. Indigo had a little bit of a pick on Downers with the charm landing and having the Braum on the backup, but it just looks like not enough of their teammates were around to really cover for them. It was ending up becoming a 2v4, and they just get overpowered by Dalinar and his huge Mega Gnar ultimate. So a little bit unfortunate for the the Gnar, as the ultimate is named, but so affectionately named, but really unfortunate for Team Illuminate Valiant there, but a really good pickup for Team CE Aeros. It looks like XL is looking a little cheeky, trying to go for a Q on Dalinar, just barely missing. Dalinar keeping him at bay with the CC, using the Gnar to keep him away, but he did have Preacher Boy 12 on the back of there if needed with the Black Shield. So all's good that ends well. So it looks like Worst Support AL is trying to match Evil Gambit here on his push. That bot lane turret is quite a bit low from his initial push, almost at 1/5 of its HP. But if we do look over the Dragon Pit, the Cloud Drake is up and Sharkbait is looking to get that one again. But iPlay support landing a very nice Winter's Bite on the hunt, popped forward, kind of huge team fight breaking out. The ultimate coming out of Urgot, landing and getting the shutdown or the kill. Sharkbait putting out tons of damage on Kaneki, though Kaneki goes down in the back rear support AL putting out the damage, takes down the Sabram support. Evil Gambit next. Infinite Duress actually coming off Sharkbait, and he goes down. Huge shutdown coming out for XL, and it's looking like it's a 2v2 in that last team fight with Indigo almost picking up C9. I mean, not C9. Down Norris using the ultimate. Yeah, the tag messing up me up a little bit, but
it's okay.
What a back and forth team fight there.
Yeah, definitely, and it seems like CE is hanging in it for the moment. I mean, it is going to allow this fight. That fight does allow Illumination to now pick up this Air Drake. They're going to tie the Drakes 2 for 2, but I mean, getting a little bit back. The now hope for Arrow is going to be on Worst Support AL.
And it looks like we have. Oh, never mind. She's back.
Whew, I'm a little winded. I had to run outside and pick up the delivery real quick. Apologize.
Oh, you got delivery, Kaiser?
Yeah, man. We just got Postmates here in Fayetteville, so I'm giving it a try. I figured with how stressful my day was, I didn't have any time to pick up food on the way home, so I figured I'd give it a try. Unfortunately, we couldn't time it perfectly in between games. So, but when I got back, it sounded like you were doing a good job with the play-by-play, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, a man's got to eat when a man's got to eat, so definitely understand.
But I'm interested to see how Arrow continues playing this game out. I feel like they just need to put all their priority focus onto playing a Protect the Xayah comp, basically. Xayah does have that rapid fire cannon at this point, does have the oh gosh, what's the item called? The Storm Razor. Definitely didn't just hover over it for everybody to see me look at it. But and the BF sword. So it's going to be interesting as this Baron fight is going to kick off here in a second. I play support, taking a decent amount of damage hanging out behind the Baron there, but they are chunking this down really quickly. I don't know if they're going to get here in time. Here's Sharkbait getting here just in time to make it happen, but the smite does not come through in time. Warwick able to lock that one down, and now the team fight's breaking out. Huge shockwave comes out from Accelerate, and now this fight is turning on its head a little bit. Indigo looking to go in deep onto Accelerate and Worst Support AL, but they do pick up one kill onto Indigo, and now Preacher Boy in the middle of the fight. That is a 4 for 2 in favor of Illumination Valiant, and that was insane shockwave. I thought that was going to turn for Arrow for a minute there, but the damage, the gap right now is just a little too big.
Really great shockwave coming out, but just forcing to amounts to nothing since, I mean, Team CE Arrow just was on the wrong side of the Raw at the wrong time. Sharkbait going with the heroic Dragon's Descent, just not barely missing the smite, but the shockwave definitely did look like it was going to turn around. But Worst Support AL and Preacher Boy and Dow Norris was just on the wrong side of the wall at the wrong time. So that just allowed for Team Illumination Valiant just to be able to regroup after the shockwave, be able to just push out the damage with Kaneki and Indigo, and really just win that team fight overall. I mean,
yeah,
dang,
I mean, can you imagine if at the time of that shockwave, if Dalinor's had Meganar, was able to hop in and throw them all up against the wall and throw down the punch and land some CC on top of that. But unfortunately, after the shockwave, after that initial damage and CC of it, they just didn't have quite the follow through that you hope and kind of envision with this style of team comp. And I mean, I feel like that's kind of a common trend, especially that I've had, where you kind of overvalue the Gnar, especially the Mega form, and you forget about the unreliability of having it up at the right time. So maybe we'll see another chance, but with this Baron now on the Illumination, what do you think they need to do to really keep putting it to Arrow?
Well, Illumination pick up that Baron. I mean, last game showed that with Baron, the first time around wasn't the most impressive thing, getting caught out and losing the Baron right away. But hopefully they do play a little bit smarter with it this time around, using it to advantage, pushing in these lanes with the 1-3-1 as the Urgot in the mid. Oh well, I guess 2-3-1 or 2-2-1. Ooh, Exo just barely missing the Infinite Duress. Man, you hate to see that.
Yeah, barely missed it. As Sharkbait goes ahead and ults out. That was pretty panic moment, I think, for Sharkbait there.
So it does seem like CEO did send out 2 to 3 people down for the Urgot just to stop this inhibitor, but honestly, it's just a matter of time before this inhibitor goes down with just these waves of Baron empowered minions just crashing at it just constantly. Dalinor's can only defend for so long, and with the focus being split between the Urgot bottom lane and the rest of the blue team on the top lane.
Yeah, the shockwave coming out there only to stop Braum from jumping and taking down Preacher Boy there. So,
I mean, I was definitely thinking of a team fight breaking out, but I guess not.
Yeah, well, maybe not a team fight, but Dalinor is taking a lot of damage from the Evil Gambit here. And just this top turret, it's slowly being chipped down. The poke coming out from Illumination's side is just a little too strong. Sharkbait having to walk back into the Nexus to be able to heal up a little bit here into the fountain.
I mean, Team CE Arrow's gotta stop, or like stop ignoring Evil. Like, they have to take attention to Evil Gambit. These Anther or the Nexus turrets, they take down in one Nexus turret, and honestly, just had they split their attention a little bit better, might have not gone down. But Dalinor's looking for something with the Meganar.
Yeah, he does get a nice throw along the wall, but I think he got charmed or something because he just kind of walked into him for a second there. Braum going to land a big ult. He's able to flash out for the moment, and he's able to stay alive actually as Worst Support AL tries to get a kill on Indigo, but that does not follow through. Indigo now picking up 1 kill. He's going to pick up 2. That's 2 for him as Sharkbait's finally able to finish him off. But the fight's not over yet as Illumination now pushes in the Infinite Duress coming down. Not Infinite Duress. The suppression coming down from Urgot. And that's going to be all of the members of CE going down. That's going to be game 2 going in favor of Illumination Valiant.
Man, again, another really big theme for these games. Sloppy team fight at the end. Illumination Valiant, not so much, but for the side of CE Arrow, it did not look down Norse, and the rest of the team had the same idea. Going alone with the Meganar, hit the huge Gnar on the wall against Ari and the iPlay support, but again, he was hit by the charm, so he did awkwardly just walk in without being able to chain the WC.
That's what I thought. I just didn't see it pop up over his head.
But did look at around the middle to the end of that. He did go in for iPlay support with the Braum, who was extremely low, but by himself, and really just got caught out by the rest of the team with the Sivir, and pretty much just got burst. It became immediately a 4v5 afterwards, and from there it just all went downhill. And Illumination Valley was able to pick back the team fight. So now we're sitting at 1-on-1, Kaiser. Now, any thoughts on this last team fight before?
Man, I mean, just you kind of highlighted it. That last team fight was hectic. I feel like both teams, once they got into the mid game and got to that late game, it was just kind of a free for all. They were not completely focused on macro play, although there were hints of it. You know, the Baron focus was good from Illumination. It was a good call to an objective, but at the same time, they did actually give CE Arrow an opportunity to get back in the game because of the style comp they were playing, right? If they had managed to land all their CC, if they had managed to play, get the timing right with the Gnar ulti and everything, they definitely had a chance to get back in the game from the Baron play. But regardless, it'll be interesting to see how these teams decide to develop as we go into the series game 3, so we can get a winner out of this matchup. We are going to take a short break before we get into the next game. Please stay tuned, and we will let you know as soon as the next game is set up. We'll see you shortly.
Welcome to a world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to a war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time, so prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Rise, push through heaven. Rise, the skies grow. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through and rise, rise. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, or do you know yet? We don't doubt you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through and rise, rise. They will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Pick up your weapon and face it. In my domain, got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over before you know it. Why you shaking? We're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory. Yeah, we've waited for our time to come, calculated everything we've done, we've upgraded. Now you can't outrun a champion. Now you're facing one. Can you hear them? Yeah, it's all for us. You believe them? Yeah, it's serious. Hear the siren. We're victorious. I'm telling you. Can I get a hell yeah? Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine, we live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game 3 of the Bronze Silver Overdrive Gaming Division. We've got CE Arrow, we've got Illumination Valiant facing off in this tight series, and we just saw Illumination Valiant pick up Game 2 off of Classic eSports Arrow. I've got a new color caster here with me. I've got Jace. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, man. Excited to watch this Game 3 play out.
Yeah, definitely. It should be a very interesting game because both teams have had some interesting changes throughout this series. We saw Classic Esports put in a really good game for the most part in Game 1, but in Game 2 they struggled to make their team comp go the way it should. They had a little bit of trouble with the timing of their team fights, and so Illumination Valiant really did look like a much better team in Game 2. They definitely cleaned up some of the macro play that they struggled with in Game 1. So with all that said, we're getting into the pick bans. Hopefully we'll see something interesting. Hopefully we'll see something a little different for both teams, because I feel like at this point both teams have kind of had the time in this series to see what the other team is trying to do, and they had the chance to adapt to it.
Of course, as we see the bans coming out, it should be Aatrox coming first. Really good pick right now. Really solid top laner. And then the Urgot counter pick, because you can first pick that Urgot if the Aatrox is banned and really just have a really strong laning matchup. As we see,
actually, so sorry, the bans do look a little messed up because in Pro Draft they actually went with a separate set of bans. They just kind of trolled around with the bans, it seems like, in the client. Actually, CE Arrow has been playing this whole series with 2 bans down, simply because they were using subs, I believe. So they only were able to ban out the Aurelia for their first ban. I think they just threw in the other 2 bans there just to quickly get through the first 2 bans. But
all right.
On the other side, though, they did have that Kai'Sa, the Urgot that you mentioned, which actually was played in the last game. I know you love that Urgot pick right now.
Yeah, it is really strong right now. Just so lane dominant. You can easily blind pick it, as there is really no counter to it. And we do see the first pick, Alistar, one of the strongest supports right now. Really good blind pick, really good first pick, and it just applies a lot of CC, a lot of team fight, and a strong laning phase.
Yeah, we have seen that in one game so far. I can't remember if it was in Game 2. I should be able to remember, but it was played in Game 1, and it was played fairly well for Preacher there. And I think with the Sivir being locked in, I feel like they are going for a similar bot lane out of IL for this matchup. They did play the Sivir in their previous game. It did a really good job. I mean, it plays that good supportive ADC role, and there's the Braum pickup, which was the exact duo that they had for that previous game.
Yeah, Sivir really strong right now. Outside of, like, obviously Kai'Sa being arguably the strongest ADC right now, she's still a very top tier ADC. And Braum, while he has fallen down in priority maybe a little bit, he still is a very strong frontliner and a very strong bot laner.
Yeah, definitely. And we have seen Caitlyn once already in the series as well. That was on the winning side in the first game, I believe. It was actually surprisingly well played. I was telling Richard earlier, really haven't seen Caitlyn very much recently, but seems to be a favorite of Worst Support AL, and he won the first game on it. He's looking to make another win happen with that champion.
Yeah, synergizes really well with the Alistar, as the headbutt pulverize can lead into just an easy trap, especially the Sivir. She can't spell shield the headbutt pulverize, so that's really leaves her vulnerable to the trap combo. And we see the Victor being picked up here, strong mid laner right now, and the Ahri as a pick, very safe mid laner, but also has a lot of kill pressure.
Yeah, Indigo has played Ahri in both games so far this series and has done a fantastic job. Me and Richard both agreed that Indigo was the MVP in Game 1, regardless of the fact that they actually lost that game. I mean, he just did such a good job keeping his team in the game. But at the same time, Accelerate played the Victor in Game 1 that they won, and he played a really good job on the Victor. It wasn't like a hard carry Victor. It was like just a good CC, good consistent damage play out of this champion. So I'm interested to see this matchup once again and see which team comes out ahead. So far, both teams just kind of defaulting to what they've been able to win with so far. And hopefully we'll see some different bans in this second round that maybe target some of the champions of this game too, especially from the side of CA, since they just lost this game too. They should be targeting a little more towards Illumination's winning champions.
Yeah, we see on the Illumination side, they have banned out two junglers and probably are looking to take this jungler here in their first pick on the second rotation. And from the other side, Jax and Warwick both banned, probably in the jungler role, just further hindering that jungle position and pinching it a little bit more. We'll see what's being picked up here.
Yeah, the Warwick was the jungler for Illumination in the previous game, so that is a direct ban, and I'm glad CEA did go to ban out one of those champions from the last game. And they respond by picking up the Udyr. What do you think about that champion? We have not seen that yet in this series.
It's kind of a weird champion, really. It's kind of a niche pick, I'd say, but it could work in this comp. If they want to try the 1-3-1 with Ahri and Udyr in the side lanes, that could work out, but at the same time, you really don't want to be putting your jungler in the side lane, so it's kind of counterintuitive.
Right.
But we do see the Kled being picked up here, looking just for an all-in combo. And if they do pick the Sejuani...
Yeah, it looks like they are going to lock the Sejuani in here, so... That's
So it's just an all-in teamfight comp, especially just with the Kled, the Alistar, and Sejuani coming right after him, stunning all of them, and just piling on them to CC.
Yeah, definitely. And now with the Renekton being the last pick here for the side of Illumination Valiant, I'm interested to see how this top lane plays out, because these are two brand new top laners, and for the most part in this series so far, these characters or these players have not played aggressive characters like this. You know, in the very first matchup we saw Malphite and Ornn, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play this out. But with all that said, we are getting into the game very quickly. You guys don't have to sit here and wait around for the spectator client to load up. We already made it through the spectator delay just for you guys, and I'm interested to see. We do have this 5-man grouping here in the bot lane. This is dangerous.
They seem to be going for the early flash from the Caitlyn. That is pretty good. And
Yeah,
also pressure that bot lane and see.
Yeah, they did manage to get the flash out from Caitlyn, so they do get something out of this early 4-man group. Renekton not quick enough to be able to get there.
But while they're not summoner spells, Ahri and Udyr did take Charm and Bear Stands respectively, and that could really hinder Ahri's early laning pushing, especially against a Victor. And
True.
Udyr's early clear, as he doesn't have Tiger or Phoenix Stands.
Ooh, here comes the response though. Evil Gambit walking into a fight here. That clutch is going to land onto Evil Gambit, and he's going to take really low. The stun actually follows through there, but Indigo coming up does land a charm, and there really wasn't much follow through going to happen unless that stun had landed before the flash.
They do seem to be going for this red buff. Oh, they look like to be backing off, but that is also another flash down early game, and Renekton did pop his pot. So that should be a pretty easy lane for Kled. And in a lane like this with two bruisers, if one just takes over, if one just gets an early kill, they can just run away with the game.
Yeah, man, definitely. So how do you feel? I know you as a top lane top lane player. How do you feel about this top lane matchup? Who do you think is going to come out ahead?
Well, if just based on what's been happening so far, Kled really does have the upper hand in this matchup. But it is basically a skill matchup, I'd say. Most of these two champions aren't really the best right now, and they could be in better positions, but definitely is a skill matchup, and I like to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely. And in the mid lane, that's really what I'm going to be putting a lot of focus on, because, like I said, Ahri for Indigo has done so much good stuff in this series so far. At the same time, I really, really, really did like the Victor out of Accelerate. I think it was much better than his Orianna. Not saying his Orianna was bad at any length, because he did land a massive 5-man ultimate at one point in that game. But
yeah, and we do see in the top lane, as we were referring to, Kled already dismounted. Renekton super low. If Renekton just wants to flash on him, he could be able to do this. Kled seems to be running at him. Might try to go for it.
Gosh, there wasn't even. We couldn't even cast that. They just sat there and poked each other down, and then Gambit just going with the all-in and getting the first blood there in the top lane.
Yeah, Kled taking a really bad fight. Renekton did have full fury there, so...
Ooh, flash forward, though, from Sharkbait. He knows that Evil Gambit cannot flash out, but he is going to be able to dash. And that's going to be a nice little escape out of Renekton there.
That's really, really good for Renekton. Sejuani's down a flash now, and he didn't even die, and he just gets the back and TP Vine in. Wade's not even crashing. It's really...
So far, just to keep you up to date, this series has not been super aggressive early game. So both these teams playing very different than they have in the first two games so far. They are really trying to get the jump step on each other. They're trying to be the most proactive team.
course, and we do see just some wards coming out from the jungler. And the bot lane matchup playing about how we expected. The early push in from the Caitlyn, but the Sivir should be able to start pushing once she gets a couple items and those boomerangs start doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how the bot lane develops once the junglers start to get into play. Because Sejuani probably going to take a little while. Probably won't see a massive gank bot lane until level 6. I could be wrong on that. But same thing with Udyr. I mean, he definitely has the potential to gank early. But right now he's on the top side of the map, and it doesn't seem like he's going to have any impact in the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, this might try to be farming up here. He knows this is Sejuani's flash now, so he can take a breather. And we see Ari getting a good vision ward on that side. And we can just see if Udyr does get this free early time to farm, he could just outscale the Sejuani and just, of course, just split push a win.
Yeah, definitely. So, we didn't really talk about it too much yet, but which team comp are you really favoring? Like, if you were playing on one of these teams, which one would you want to be on?
If they can use it right, I'd say definitely CE, blue side, because their comp just is a bit more easier to execute, I feel like, because you can just roll down with the Kled, Alistar, Sejuani, kill somebody, and just keep going that way. They don't really have too much of a front line on Illumination side. And on the Illumination side, as I was referring to in Champ Select, they did draft this split-pushing jungler, but you don't really want your jungler in the side lane. So we'll see how this plays out.
That's a good point, but Evil Gambit in the top lane looking to get another kill on a Dalinar here. And Dalinar, he's trying to pop the pots, he's trying to stay under tower, but man, even though he has his flash, he does not have his TP, and I don't think he's going to survive in this lane very well if he keeps going like this.
Yeah, as it was happening in the bot lane, and some good pressure from CE on the Illumination forced them to both back out. Brahman had to pop all his pots to get back to the south, but we do see him get a control ward. Just normal ward.
Yeah, and Sharkbait going to get charmed up here by Indigo. I don't know if much is going to happen out of this. Accelerate looking to come in, but that gravity field, it does actually lock him up.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to do much with that. This one was already disengaging. And we just do see, referring back to this top side,
Oh my
he's going for it.
He got the kill. I did not expect it to go like that. Dalinar being able to play just safe enough and bait Evil Gambit under turret for just a little too long to be able to pick up a return kill.
Yeah, it was very surprising. I think Renekton might cancel his last auto attack thinking he had the kill. Or might have just stayed under tower for too long. But that does neutralize that topside matchup.
Yeah, but to be fair, Renekton did have that teleport, so he's already back in lane, and Dalinar has not had the chance to go back yet. So, if nothing else, Gambit is going to get an advantage in terms of CS, unless he gets cocky here. Nope, never mind. Sharkbait showed himself. He's not going to try to dive.
Yeah, but as you were saying, he does have that TP to push in this minion wave, and he also did get the first blood gold. So he definitely is ahead in this lane, and he does pick up the ninja tab. He's on his first back.
Yeah, that's going to be a really nice item to have there for this first fight, because, or not first fight, for this first back, because it's going to definitely give him a little bit better clear for minion waves. It'll make it a little easier for him to challenge the damage of Renekton, whereas Renekton did actually just go for the full boots there, picking up that little bit of armor resistance, or attack damage resistance rather, but we are seeing the first Infernal Drake going over to the side of CEA. And that's going to be a good pickup, man. I think they've definitely had the Dragon priority of the series.
Yeah, and referring to that Renekton pickup, the boots are really good because Kled's attacks are basically all autos, especially with his W, so it's going to give him a lot more survivability just pushing those waves into 9 CS.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how, like, so far in the series we have seen the CS differences be pretty massive, especially in the top lane was one of the big ones in game 2. Dalinar fell massively far behind on his Gnar compared to, oh gosh, what did Gambit play in the second game? I'll have to put that thought on hold. But either way, it was a champion that you wouldn't have expected to massively outfarm a Gnar. And regardless,
You see what you're going for this right here. The flash. Trade flashes.
Big flashes. Where did that happen? In the top lane?
In top lane, yeah.
Oh man, directed camera had me watching the bot lane. I'm sorry.
So the Sejuani ulted, so did the Kled, and Sejuani did flash, and Renekton did flash out of Sejuani ult.
Oh well, we got another fight here in the top lane though. Evil Gambit looking to get the kill on a shark bait. Is he gonna be able to finish it off before he goes down? It doesn't look like it. Dalinor putting out a lot of damage. Dalinor is gonna be dropped off of the his mount there, but Evil Gambit, he is actually going pretty low, but Dalinor not able to finish it in XL. Now he's here. He's gonna pick up one. Will he pick up two? He should be able to. Shark bait is way too low. I don't know why he stuck around that long. But that's gonna end up being a 2 for 0 in the top lane, and what looked like what should have been just a nice little 1 kill for the side of Illumination. But,
Holy clown fiesta.
oh my gosh, dude, Indigo. This Ari, man, he's doing a ton of damage. Accelerate, able to survive for now. And that is just iconic of how Indigo has been playing so far this series. He's being the aggressor. He's playing really good, landing those skill shots off the Ari, landing the charms. And I think the only thing that kept Accelerate alive in that fight was the fact that Ari just doesn't have the items yet.
Yeah, the cleanse did also cleanse the ignite, which is very helpful. But now with 0 summer spells, Ari could just flash charm into a Uter stun, and that's a dead victor.
Yeah, definitely. But so far, only a couple kills on the map. Definitely more than in the previous games. We had one game. Can't remember if it was game 1 or game 2. I'm getting all my games confused at this point. Of this series where there was no kill by 15 minutes into the game. But play support, he's taking a little bit of damage here. Preacher Boy had a good little headbutt pulverized combo. Man, I don't know about this bot lane. Which bot lane would you prefer to have if you were playing in this game?
Personally, probably the Alistar Caitlyn. I feel like it is better in the lane, or at least has been playing out like that, and Alistar is just such a good support right now that I'd rather have that over a Braum. Caitlyn, not that good right now, but not too bad at all.
Yeah, big fight breaking out here. Ari picking up 1 kill onto the Sejuani. Sejuani did get a kill before she died, but now there's another kill going over to the Sivir. That is accelerates Victor going down, and now it's Alistar going down in the middle of that fight, and that's actually going to be another fight in favor of CEA. And Arrows, they seem to have forgotten what happened in game 2. They seem to be focused forward and ahead on making the improvements they need to make to be able to win this game.
Yeah, they seem to have the numbers advantage there, and they were just able to just use a lot of CC that they have, especially with the Braum passive, to just CC the people down and kill them.
Yeah, so going forward, I'm interested to see how CEA continues to develop their team comp. Like I said before, they've done a really good job so far in this series in terms of their macro play. I feel like they definitely have been the better macro team in the series, even though Illumination did do a very good job with some of their decision making in game 2. So I'm hoping that we'll see some increasingly good macro play out of CEA as they continue to get more ahead in this game.
Yeah, that's a 3-0 Udyr, especially with the already has Blood Razor this early into the game. He's really taking off, and it's just seeming like it might just be a snowball carry game for him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you had told me before the series that we were going to have an Udyr go nuts and be able to carry this series or carry a game in the series, I would have probably laughed a little bit. But so far, he's doing really well on it. He not only has the 3 kills and 2 assists over Sejuani's 1 and 2, but he's got some good CS too.
Yeah, he's CSing very well, and might just be able to just snowball this with the lead. Udyr, obviously a very famously just split push champion, super snowball. He can just completely on hit kill you in a second, and he might just be able to do that. But going back to it, you really just do not want your jungler on the sideline.
Yeah, definitely. But nice little tower dive here in the bot lane. There's 4-man advantage for Illumination. They're trying to make something happen, but they actually are not able to get any kills out of it. The Braum shield doing massive work to protect his Sivir there. They did have to use all their summoner skills, so no flashes, no heals, nothing going on for the next 5 minutes from the bot lane of CEA. But
That's
go ahead.
Yep. That's very good for Illumination, I believe. Just really good. They were able to neutralize that tower. Also, did start out with a good headbutt pulverize on the both members, but they just weren't able to complete it. And Ari did get the first tower goal and is pushing down on the second one.
Gambit is making a lot of big plays here in the top lane, though. They do have that Rift Herald in the top lane. And so now after getting this tower dive kill, they are going to push in with the Rift Herald, and we'll see if Illumination is able to respond at all. I think they're going to get at least 2 towers, and hopefully Illumination is able to respond by the time they get to the inhib.
Yeah, 2 towers there. They also did get a kill on the Gnar, which just further snowballs this Renekton. They do seem to be sieging onto this third tower, but they just seem to be... They're not even collapsing on them.
No, they're really not. They're actually giving them kills as Preacher Boy comes in from the side and goes down quickly, accelerate. He is able to kind of walk in and do a little bit of damage to the Ahri, and so that is going to force them to back off. And actually, you know what? They were able to defend that second turret, although now it is very low and ripe for the taking for the side of CEA.
And on the bot side, we do see that Cloud Drake going down. Just free Cloud Drake, and they might even be able to change it into the bot lane turret if they stay long enough. But just really strong map rotations and coordination from the side of Illumination. Just being able to split CE across the map and take objectives for free.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, so far if CEA, or so far they've been playing a really good job in terms of their macro movement, and if they keep playing this way, I don't have any doubt that they'll be able to close this game out.
Yeah, I favored, I really did favor CE in the early game, especially with the Alistar and just the almost easy ganks that Sejuani would have had, especially in the top side or the bottom side. But they just seem to be able to not win where they were supposed to, and that might hurt them later in the game.
Yeah, talking about hurt, Preacher Boy taking a lot of damage, forced to pop his ultimate to try to get out of the CC of CEA, but he's going to go down here and give one more kill over to the side of Arrow. And I thought Indigo for a second there. Sorry, I got caught up watching him try to take that blue buff. I was hoping one more heart attack was going to get through. That would have been a funny little cap to the series if Ari died to the blue buff.
And just really weird decision making. They had no bot lane turret. They had no business being in the enemy jungle, but he does get punished for it, and he's dead again.
Yeah, I mean, the only decision making I can see is he was trying to keep up the ward vision, because that was one thing that really highlighted their struggle in game 1. Illumination really struggled with the ward coverage against CEA. In game 2, they did a much better job of keeping up with the vision scores, but so far in this game, well, you know what? So far in this game, they are keeping up. Alistar does have the much higher score right now, but I think that's partially because he's been putting himself in positions like what we just saw, kind of making the risk to be able to get the vision for his team.
Yeah, we do see the vision going on the bot side of the map, but Illumination does seem to have the... Oh, we just somehow have bot the mid lane.
Yeah, the mid lane Alistar was looking for a fight, but now here in the top lane, Dalinor forced to flash away from Gambit. Gambit is now under turret. He forces the ult out, but he is going to get the kill here. And gosh, I do not want to be Dalinor in this top lane right now. The lockdown, the ultimate coming out from Sharkbait here, trying to keep Evil Gambit under the turret. Evil Gambit thought he could maybe turn this one around onto Sharkbait, but he did not realize Accelerate was coming in to help clean up this kill. And that's going to be a little bit of gold, shut down gold over onto Accelerate there. That'll be nice.
Yeah, a good amount of shutdown gold onto the Victor. Maybe one of the people you want to have the shutdown gold on, so if you can try to snowball this game and take it back. We do see the...
Yeah, big collapse coming in here. Indigo looking to make the nice little roam. He does land the charm once again on the worst support AL, and that's going to be another big play coming out from this side. And oh my gosh, 1 second. I think I'm realizing something here. I've been talking so positive on CEA, and I've had these teams mixed up, I think. Oh my gosh, my world. Right now, Indigo doing an amazing job cutting out this team fight. Holy crap, I just realized I've been calling the team the wrong name the whole game. Have I been calling Illumination CEA this whole game? I think I have.
Maybe.
Okay, well, just to clarify, in case I have, Illumination is the red side, CEA is the blue side. And I think maybe I'm too tired to be casting right now, but I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah, we do see them winning that fight pretty decisively as they are so far ahead and have a almost 10k gold lead at 18 minutes. And they just seem to be just sieging towers. They have really good TC to be able to pick people off, and they're just using that to siege towers and take over the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So this side of Illumination doing an amazing job right now being able to control the map. Yeah, I was definitely calling them CEA. I don't know how I was getting that mixed up. I don't know how I got Indigo mixed up because they've, he's been the star of that team, and I saw him jump in on that team fight. I was like, wait a second. I thought Illumination was on blue side. Oh, man. Whew. That's why I don't cast anymore, man. I just stick to the streaming.
We do see some deep vision continuing to be coming out from Illumination, just showing their map dominance around the map. They do have all outer surge down, so that really does allow the macro to be so much easier and rotations around the map a lot easier. And they might even be able to go for an early Baron as it is coming up soon.
Yeah, definitely. The Baron spawning here in 30 seconds or so. It's going to be interesting to see who looks to get the vision on it first, because right now there's really not too much vision from either team in that area. So, both teams got to be a little wary for a couple minutes.
Yeah, see, he's just trying to set up a lot of defensive vision, especially in the bot side, just to kind of stop the bleeding and try to stall us, but you see a fight.
Yeah, Gambit looking to go in here on Dolores, or Dalinor. Did not realize that Sharkbait was close by, but doesn't it really matter? No, I don't think it does, because he takes down Sharkbait, and now he's taking down Dalinor. That's going to be a 2-for-1, or sorry, a double kill for the one member of Evil Gambit playing in the 2v1 fight.
And they just seem to be, and he just seems to be running away with this game, as the rest of Illumination is, being extremely dominant in these later stages of the game and just starting to siege in all the turrets, really.
Yeah, essentially it's just the Evil Gambit show right now in the top lane. Like you said earlier, XL is doing a really good job out of the jungle on their Deer. Indigo, he's been playing amazing all series on this Ahri. So right now, Illumination really getting carried away with it. 20 minutes into the game, hopefully we're going to start to see some big objective plays happening in the next couple minutes. But,
yeah, as in front of me.
Nice flash forward from Preacher Boy. He is going to first force the fight and the kill out from XL. And that's going to be, once again, another big shutdown gold onto the Caitlyn this time. So maybe that'll help them out a little bit.
He seemed to be going over Victor, but with that happening, they were able to pick up the Infernal Drive? Yeah, they were.
Oh, you're right. It didn't go over to Caitlyn. Sorry. It went over to Victor?
Yeah.
Wow. Either way, going on to a carry at the very least.
And that Victor is racking up a lot of gold from shutdowns, but it might be all in vain. I don't know. We can see how this rest of the game plays out.
I don't see a Vayne in this game.
Might be too late. But we do see they did end up picking that Infernal Drake. 2 Infernal Drakes, extremely strong, and the Baron is now up. They should just be able to just set up a vision around it and be able to take it fairly easily, especially with an Udyr and Sivir.
You would think so, but Sharkbait looking to engage in between the two towers here. I play support and Kaneki here for the follow-up. Preacher Boy is now going to be the one left alone under the turrets, and he's going to take a lot of damage. He's going to go down as the second person in this fight. Sejuani dropping first, and now Victor falling down to Evil Gambit, who came in from the flank there. And that's going to be a great Baron opportunity. You can see the pings coming out for the side of Illumination.
Yeah, they tried to kill an R, especially probably with the knowledge that she did have ult up, so she was just able to get out of that CC chain and ult away, and then the re-engage with the Braum stun, the concussive blows, able to take that fight to them. Good rotations from Renekton, and they'll be able to pick up this Baron for free.
Yeah, for free, that's definitely the word. I mean, no challenge coming out from the side of CEA right now. I mean, to be fair, Sharkbait wasn't even alive, so there was no potential for a smite steal there. But now with the Baron picked up, where do you think they're going to try to focus? What kind of lane presence are they going to go for? Are they going to go for that 4-4 or 4-1 style?
They might try to go for that 4-1 style, or they might just be able to just use the Sivir ult and just barrel it down mid, try to get a good fight off, and just siege the turrets.
That would be pretty fun to see as well, but it does look like Evil Gambit does want to pick up this big wave in the bot lane, and I wouldn't be too surprised since he has teleport coming up in the next 30 seconds or so if he just kind of stays down there. It'd be interesting to see which lane Illumination picks to focus on. I think they should just go ahead and go as far away as possible from Evil Gambit and go for the top lane turret, especially with how low it is right now.
Yeah, 8 and 2 Renekton with Baron buff is extremely strong in the side lane, and he has been seeing the 2v1, so it just might be a lot of attention to it.
Destroying that 2v1. I feel like with Baron buff, this really is about a spiral here. I don't see this game lasting another 5 minutes if Evil Gambit plays it right, and if his team kind of plays safe around him and allows him to do his thing that he's been doing.
Yeah, we just see him getting that top lane bot lane turret for basically no cost. They can't really contest it. Yeah. And they do seem to be running the 3-1-3.
Yeah, I was about to point that exact same thing out. Accelerate taking a lot of damage here in the mid lane, though. Preacher Boy being locked down for a moment. Ari dashing into a trap, and she's going to take a lot of damage off the tower. She's actually going to die to the last tower hit there. But they did manage to get 1 kill onto Preacher Boy, the support, but that's not really who you want when you're trading your main AP carry for. Dalinor, he's trying to hang with Evil Gambit here in the bot lane. And same for Sharkbait, or sorry, Sharkbait trying to hang with XL in the top lane. But those two matchups just aren't fair at this point. Evil Gambit taking down the inhib turret, and I'm sure XL is going to be close behind with his turret. And also in the mid lane, I mean, you've still got Kaneki and I Play Support pushing in. I mean, this is just an all-on a frontal assault as Evil Gambit goes in and completely decimates Accelerate in the mid lane. Now the inhib from the mid lane is going down, and I mean, this is just there's no chance they can't defend this.
Yeah, they just seem to be squeezing them in their own base, not really letting them any room to breathe. They just seem to be backing off. Maybe trying to reset. But
I don't know why Sharkbait is going to stop Evil Gambit from backing off. I feel like you just go ahead and let that beast back away. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
give yourself a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, give yourself some breathing room. Don't force anything right now. If they're not going to try to finish the game, might as well let them go ahead. Because, I mean, I feel like they could have finished the game right there, honestly. If they tried hard enough.
They could have. The only problem might have been their low health bot lane and the death timers coming back up for Illumination for C. But we do see the Renekton TPing top, trying to siege this last turret.
Yeah, he did TP back top lane, and he is putting a lot of damage on Sharkbait. He does get locked down by that ultimate into the top turret, damage a little bit. Flash coming out from XL, but neither of them really are going to take much damage at all. Both of them will probably heal right back up quickly and make another assault on this top inhib.
Yeah, with all three, with one inhib left, they could just use the extremely strong Superman and just squeeze them in their base. They really don't have enough damage right now to kill those effectively, and they could just do that, or just run around the map freely while they have to deal with them.
Absolutely, man. And so they are starting to kind of form up a siege here. They are a little still spread out, waiting for Renekton and Silver to get into the base. Rudy are pushing in a wave here, but it does look like the focus is going to be on that top inhib, and they're just going to try to get every single super minion they can into the space.
Yeah, they just seem to be sieging on this top inhib. It's going to be the last one to go down, and the minions are starting to stack up. You see a fight maybe breaking out?
Yeah, the fight's going to break out any second here. I'm just kind of waiting for it with anticipation, because this will more than likely be the last fight of the game. It's going to be interesting to see. Well, you know what? Never mind. Never mind. Illumination's not interested in fighting. They'd rather go fight a dragon.
Playing it safe. This should be the third Inferno coming up, so they're going to have a lot of damage. I think 16% maybe?
Yeah, they get that Inferno. There's another Mountain Drake that'll be coming up as the next dragon. Hopefully we won't see that next dragon. I've already been wrong once. I said the game was going to be over in 5 minutes. It's now been 4 minutes, and I don't think they're going to end in the next minute.
Yeah, they should just go for the end here. They have so much pressure. They have a extremely big goal lead. What is it, like 16K? Extremely large.
Good quick maths. 16K goal differential right now.
16K goal lead. So many more items on their carries. Everyone on their team seems to be at least one item ahead, if not two, as you see in the Renekton. Well, Baron is up in 1.5 minutes, but I think they should just end before that.
I mean, you said, 16K gold lead, and 6K of that is on the Renekton. in that matchup. Then you've got a little bit here and there. Sejuani and Udyr, that's actually a 5k differential. So the top and jungle lanes are the ones that are really stand out as difference. But we are going to hopefully see this last final siege coming through as Evil Gambit goes ahead and pops the ult. He is going in for AL. He might not, no, he's not going to be able to get anything really down in terms of a quick kill. But this sustained fight really isn't going well for the side of CDA. Sharkbait is going to go down here, and that's a nice charm onto AL. He's going to drop now. Accelerate is starting to get focused. He does use the cleanse really quickly, but that damage coming out from XL and Evil Gambit is just way too much. And that's going to be the game. That's going to be the series in favor of Illumination Valiant.
Yeah, the Renekton ended up turning around that early flash loss and heal loss and ended up just snowballing, as I said, just snowballing the game out of control after that first kill.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was going to ask you at the end of the game who I thought your MVP was, but I think it's pretty obvious for this third game who the MVP was.
Yeah, it's going to be going for Evil Gambit, of course. Played phenomenally on that. Renekton was able to suppress a lot of ganks coming out from Sejuani, ended up getting a nice 2v1, and then just snowballing it in the side lane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd have to agree with you, although I do want to give a special shout out to Indigo. I think he played amazingly and was a man of few mistakes throughout this whole series. I feel like if we had to give a full series MVP, he'd definitely be my choice. And I'd have to say also shout out to XL because he obviously stood out quite a bit in this game as well.
Yeah, the Victor, even in the loss, he was not that far behind the R. He played that really, really well and was able to carry his own weight. His team obviously couldn't do the same, and they just lost really in the laning phase and let them get ahead too far and just snowball out to victory.
Yeah, so that will be it for us tonight. Thanks again, Jace, for jumping in for Game 3 and helping me out with this one. Thank you guys for tuning in for this Overdrive game series. We will be live again tomorrow, actually, over here on the Everlife Gaming Network, not the ODL channel, with some games with the Risen eSports League. But if you'd like to see more ODL action, we will be live again on Monday with the Plat League over on the Everlife Gaming Network channel. So be sure to follow that channel, tune in at our Discord if you ever need an update for when we're live. And we will catch you guys all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking to make a push, and this is a pretty good move as long as he makes sure to teleport at the right time. As Ornn is looking to start this fight, he just landed on the two people, and Ahri is one of them. She's going really low. I play support, goes down first, but Indigo is going to fall secondly, and now Z-Mags, he's trying to run away. Zaya being focused down by Sharkbait, and that's Sharkbait with the triple kill now. Evil Gambit, you TP'd in, man, but the rest of your team is already going down. You have just enough to stay alive, but that's going to be a fight in favor of Classic.
They just have so much damage output coming out from Eldrick. Really huge.
We do have 3 members of eSports Arrow here, and they immediately kill Z-Mags. I don't even know how that happened, but Indigo is going to get the pickup kill onto support. And now Preacher is going to get knocked up. Kaneki is going to use his ultimate to try to get away from this fight. But that is going to be another kill. Actually, Preacher Boy picking that one up. And now the double kill going over for Victor's Accelerate. Man, that is a really weird team fight that just played out there. Tries to get a kill on Indigo, but that does not follow through. Indigo now picking up 1 kill. He's going to pick up 2. That's 2 for him, as Sharkbait's finally able to finish him off. But the fight's not over yet, as Illumination now pushes in the Infinite Duress coming down. Not Infinite Duress. The Suppression coming down from Urgot. And that's going to be all of the members of CE going down. That's going to be game 2 going in favor of Illumination Valiant.
Man, again, another really big